Good morning, Miss L. How you doing today? Had a good start? Yeah, it's been okay. Normal work day? Ah, nice. Hey, whatever exciting, dude. Hey, moms. Thank you so much for that raid, dude. Back to back. How you doing, Chief? Giving people the D? Ooh. Hey, Kilby. Good morning to you, Chief. What ship were you using to give them the D, mums? As, yeah, cool. Right, that works. afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Michael the TheDarkLaw, and welcome to another episode of The Darkness here on Twitch. It is Monday Chat, brand new week, 17th October 22, and we're on day 152. 152, almost there, chat. Only got like 32 days to go. Who? You know who it is, Veshan. Don't lie. Don't lie. You know exactly. But welcome in, Miss L, Wyverx, Mums, thank you again for that raid. Back to back. It's like 3 times in the past week, dude. So generous. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I hope you're all well. And Veshkan, welcome in, dude. KLB. Good day, everyone. Good day, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. Yeah, we're on that bill. 153, 18. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright. We're pretty cushy. Because I like your head. Everyone does. It's perfectly round. Like all things should be. I was trying to go with a Thanos theme there. I laughed at my own joke. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright guys, we've got literally 6 days to go until we collect Nyx. So we're still working on exclamation mark Nova. For 6 days, we've got like, what is it here? We're at 1065, so we have to try and hit, if possible, as close to goal 2 as we can. And that will cushion it as much and stuff like that. I think what I'll probably do is I'll run it like over the weekend or something like that with Nyx is here, but I kind of feel like, well, you know what I mean. If we can hit goal 2, I'll just probably close it down because I don't really want to be like super rude to people and be like, yeah, would you mind still putting money in here? You know what I mean? So yeah, if we can try and get to as close to goal 2, and then yeah, that'll be wicked. We got a sneak release on Friday. I have it in the house right now. It's so dope. I can't tell you about it. And I don't even know the, so basically it's a flavor, obviously. But it doesn't actually say the flavor on it. It's a mystery flavor, which is so cool. And it's really, really cool. Again, I'm not going to hype up too much just now. We'll probably watch the video on Friday when Sneak release it. And this will be good when they do this stuff, you know. Because when we start doing, we're planning to start doing reaction videos at the end of this month. Try and help out Jack and myself gain a little bit more money. And something to do whilst we're waiting for other things and stuff like that. Because apparently people enjoy my rants and stuff like that. But however, I will have to massively like tone it down for YouTube, right? Twitch is a different story where like, you know, YouTube, they don't like you swearing as much, so I need to be professional TheDarkLaw, which means watch the old voice. This week, gonna go in for a big hike on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably actually Wednesday. I might end up doing an evening show tomorrow because I really need to like sort of prep the house a bit more and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna start doing reaction videos, a bit like what Salty Mike does and Asmongold and stuff like that, because I generally won't be able to make Star Citizen content in the stuff that I want to do until 4.0. Aerodynamics, all that stuff, and I've got a baller of a fucking thing to do. It's gonna be really good, but we need to wait until then, which could obviously be plenty time away, and I don't really have anything, like I could do low fly videos, but it's like, you know what I mean, again, they need to be done in the a new flight model and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking of doing is just doing like reaction videos on the YouTube channel, and then I'll do reaction videos alongside Starses and stuff and all that jazz. So that's the kind of goal. That's the kind of goal. Oh my god, what's the... Oh my god, is this about to fall? So yeah. That is the plan. That's the plan. Alright, let's quickly go and claim some ships. I think I'll start off with Saborita. It's a shame that there's not really anything else that I can use. Because I've tried Buccaneer and Co. and...
Welcome to the
I could try Hornet, but you're better off with other ships right now. Right, so let's see here. That's claimed. Yeah, let's just quickly claim that. I do think they need a few more sort of medium fighters. A medium fighter from Crusader would be nice. I think a medium fighter from Aegis would be nice. Because obviously we've got them in... Oh no, we've got the Saber, never mind. No, that would be it. So it's only Crusader, really. I mean, we could get an alien ship that's medium. But then Santa Kai is coming out with that very shortly, you know? That's meant to be next year, Santa Kai! Oh, it's got invisible. Invisible bottle! Can you see through my claw? What the fuck? My claw. I don't know what the fuck, man, sometimes. I started mass buying bottles. Alright. Oh, sweet niblets, eh? Uh-oh. Ah, sweet Jimmy. What's I'll do? I would love it where at least one thing works in Star Citizen by the end of next year, right? That would be cool. Ghost drinking, let's go. I've heard many cries from racers. I know. It's the same, the craziest thing, right, is everyone is speculating like they have a full understanding of this game. And they don't. They don't. They're crying within the fields of where they know, like the racers, some PvPers, you know what I mean, and then other people. And here's the thing. You can't go with the information that they gave us and think that you're not going to be able to do certain things, you know?
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
If you were actually a racer and you were actually decent at flying, you would overcome anything that CIG give you.
Stand by.
You know what I mean? But they're whiny little bitches because the only reason that they're irrelevant right now is because of the flight model that we have just now. But they have no idea if they will be irrelevant or if they will just disappear kind of stuff, you know? Or relevant, irrelevant, you know what I mean? And that's what they're fucking worried about right now. You know what I mean? Look at F1, they all whine and cry. Yeah, exactly, man. Racers always cry. They only got anything to cry, you know? One thing made me cringe when I said racing is the main... What I said? Racing is the main of the game? Who said racing is the main of the game? Who the fuck said that? A racer? Get the fuck out of here, man. General flight is the main thing of the game. It's the same with fucking combatants going, no, the main thing of the game is combat. No, it's not. It's flying around, you fucking imbeciles. Because everyone has to fly. So we balance the game around flight. Not PvP, not combat, not racing, not mining, not transportation, but general flight. That's it. Just general flight. Everyone is freaking out for no reason. Just let it happen. It's the same thing when people, like low flyers, freaking out when free 10 changes, or from free 10 to, yeah, free 10, when they change the ability to like low fly in M50s and stuff like that. Just let it happen. You ain't stopping it. You ain't changing it to the way you want it to be. You have to adapt as a pilot, and that's it, you know? It's the same thing as when combat pilots in real life move, like, you know what I mean? They get obviously retired in the military, and they're still fucking pumped up that they want to be a pilot. What do? They move into commercial. So they go from flying at, like, you know, Mach 1 round fucking corners, dropping bombs and missiles, and, well, not really dogfighting because it hasn't really been on the scales for like the past 50 years, but you know what I mean. And they start flying big fucking prop planes, and they still get their fun out of it. They have to adapt to change from going at these ridiculous speeds and stuff like that, you know? Exactly. So if you can't go 600, 700 meters around a corner, how do you know that CIG are not going to make up the SEMs? Everyone just literally thinks the current system we have right now is going to be in this new fly model, and literally CIG themselves have said we are changing SEM. So everything that we know about Star Citizen right now in the flight doesn't even comprehend in this new system. A Saber right now could go maybe like what, 220 SEM speed? Who knows, it might be 300 in the new system. You know what I mean? Nobody knows. I bet even CIG don't even know just yet because it's still in development. So when people, racers, PvPers, and general public just freaking out about things, just wait. We have 6 to 9 months. Calm down. Black Maze just, I don't know, like, Black Maze seems to be like a cool kind of person, a racer, but you know what I mean? Like, he's smoking the fucking racing's irrelevant right now kind of thing, and to be fair, it's like, racing has never been a thing in Star Citizen. The only reason they've made it a thing recently is because people just constantly whining and, you know, certain people in it. But you know what I mean? There's more people that do low flying than there are racers, right? There's more people who do trade running and general flight than low flyers. And there's more people, actually no, it would be racers, low flyers, then it would go into combatants, and then it would be general people flying around. So this game should never, like, it should have balance in all areas, but you have to consider that everything goes with general flight first, and that's what CIG are trying to do. They literally said these things. What they're trying to do is slow down the disengage in combat. Because again, it's super impossible when people are backstrafing, and they have an advantage when they go backwards, because again, if you don't know about the flight model, when you go backwards, and you're going full backwards, even just strafing backwards, you use 50% less afterburner than somebody pushing forward. They're just flipping it around. Whoever goes forwards gets the advantage, and whoever goes backwards has the disadvantage. That's it. They're just flipping it that way. Then they're increasing the general SEM in the forward movement because they want people to actually get around. You're going to be able to afterburner over SEM, but you won't be able to recharge your capacitor unless you're under SEM because you're stressing out the fucking engines, the capacitor, the power plant. Everyone just seems to think that these ships are always going to be running on unlimited power. There's no such thing. You stress a car out when you start over revving it, right? Why is to say that a ship doesn't stress out? You know, you can even stress a fucking electric car by over revving it at certain times, you know? It's the same thing. You just can't have it where these ships have unlimited power capabilities. You can go afterburning fast, whilst recharging your shields, whilst shooting at somebody, whilst missiling, whilst countermeasuring, whilst getting up to 1200 meters a second, whilst decoupling, going backwards at that speed. Ejection doesn't even fucking work, you know what I mean? Like, oh god, it drives me nuts, man. Again, people are so stuck in their ways, and we go right back to free 10 situation. Just adapt or get the fuck out of the game. Simple as that. Stop spending money on a game that's never going to suit you, you know? Again, racing is a very, very small percentage of the game. They've made racing ships, they've not made low-flying ships. Low-flying is more popular than racing. That's a fact. Because it has sort of the same sort of thing in it, you know? And then the racing guy, I saw his video, Black Mace, he literally calls low flying something else, and an elite dangerous term, you know? So there you go, there's the mentality already. It's an elite dangerous player racing in Star Citizen, if they're using elite dangerous terminology. Fuck me, man. We're doomed, like. Absolutely doomed. No wonder CIG can't do shit in this game, like. You got too many fucking backseating devs that think they know anything about this game, and they actually know fuck all. These racers know fuck all, some PvPers know fuck all, you know? General public know fuck all. The only people that actually know something about this game are the people that are building the game, and that's a fact. So just let them build the game, so we can actually play a game. You don't like it, go and play another game. Hate to tell you though, there's no other game like Star Citizen. Because Elite Dangerous is a pile of shit. Nobody else is making another game because it's too adventurous. There's your facts, right there. I don't know why he even plays when it's actual racing games. I know, dude. I know, man. Go and play fucking Wipeout. Prove to me you can go around the hardest track on Wipeout. Shortest time. There you go. There's your fucking challenge for racers, like. I bet you none of them can do it as well. Wipeout on the hardest setting was fucking ridiculous back in the day. That shit was fast, like. Fucking crazy, man. Again, too many cooks in the kitchen. And they're not even cooks, they're like sous chefs, or fucking, what's under a sous chef? The guy, like the people that just do, like, preparation work. I can't remember what that is. That a sous chef that does preparation work? No, no. That's West. I don't remember the ranking of the kitchen. Is it called pot washer? Alright. I love Wipeout. Again, just people need to relax. CIG will most likely in 6 months or 3 months time do a video or a guide or something like that, and it won't even be what they said at CitizenCon. It'll be something completely different. I'm more grateful that we actually have a team that are doing something to try and help this game out, because for the past 2 years it's been in such a dire situation. So bad. You're literally gonna get everything in one. It just requires people to think a little bit more. You know, you're still gonna be able to hit, like, this is what people don't understand. I'm still going to be able to do exactly what I did just now. The difference is, when I let go of the afterburner, it's going to basically do what it's doing just now, going down to SEM speed. And the booster, so if we do this, right? So this is how you see how this will work. I'm going to put all power to shields so my afterburner can't regen. I'm in SEM speed. When we boost, we're going to go over SEM speed to whatever they allow it in the new model. And the moment I let go of afterburner, I have to come down to SEM speed before it starts to regen. The moment we hit SEM speed, it starts to regen the afterburner. That's all the difference is. So when people are like, oh, I can't spam afterburner. Yes, you can. You've just got to understand that if you want to regenerate your energy, you have to stop putting full stress on the ship. Because again, we have full stress on the ship, full power to shields, afterburning, shoot, 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 right? Fucking missiles, 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 countermeasures. You can do everything at once, and CIG are just trying to make it where you have to make some choices. You have to do a bit of strategy before you go into gameplay. And I'm all for that, because right now the game is too fast, and because of that, 90% of the community don't understand speed in this game. And that's all they're trying to sort. Everyone's freaking out for, again, no reason. They're just trying to make this game work, because again, we had this topic yesterday. There is no way anybody in the Star Citizen community, and I say this within the deepest of respect, nobody has the intelligence to pull off interstellar maneuvers, right? Like in the film Interstellar. And that's what's going to happen if you try and board with a ship going at 1,000 meters a second whilst it's decouple fucking rolling. You're gonna have to do some fucking mathematic shit to fucking align the dock up together. And CIG are just trying to stop that kind of stuff, you know? I hope that, hypothetically, let's say 300 will get you down, slowed down by magic. You will get slowed down? Yeah, it's going to be where you get slowed down by magic. Again, it's not realistic. It's not what people want in 60UF, but here's the factor of it. 60UF, legit simulator 60UF flight. We wouldn't be flying around in something like this. You would be flying around in a sphere that is just caked in turrets, and it's just literally fucking rolling and shooting. You know what I mean? Like Expanse kind of stuff. And nobody wants that kind of shit because it's not cinematic. It doesn't sell very well because you just be like fucking sitting in a turret while somebody is the pilot spinning around at hyper speed. So again, just let them do the changes to actually make this a system that works. Hey Ondo, how you doing, dude? Freaky as hell, sorry I missed that. I'm in favor of SEM QCM changes as well because I look from a perspective from combat, low flight, and going fast as needed. Exactly. But the thing is, like, you don't need to go into QCM to do low flying. Again, this is what people just need to factor in, right? So if you're going low flying, and I literally put my power to shields just to simulate it right now, this is me low flying. I'm going around hard corners or something like that, and then SEM. So I start to balance out the ship, I re-energize, and I'm still flying. Again, they could make it where it's faster SEM, so it's not just like this slow. And again, when I want to go fast, I do this, right? So it's just a different format of where you could go into QCM, but we don't know in atmosphere. See, this is the craziest thing. They've not even said you're going to be able to do 1,000 meters a second in QCM in atmosphere, right? Only in space, you would imagine it. So low flying might go down to just 200 meters a second. But the thing that CIG can do, and especially if anybody was here right from the start of the game, so round about like 1.5 dogfighter basically, 1.8. What they did is whilst everyone's moving at 300 meters seconds, they doubled the speed of visual intake, right? So you think you're going ridiculously fast, but you're only going 300 meters a second, alright? Because again, whenever you see the Dogfighter module back then, and it was called Dogfighter before it went to Arena Commander, it was so fast, and you were only doing 300 meters a second in the same system that we have right now. All they did was make debris come in faster, and you felt like you were going absolutely nuts. And if you actually look at the video of the vet team talking at Thingybob, they're flying around Pyro and they're doing 200 meters a second in a Gladius, and no joke, it looks like they're doing 400 in the actual visuals. So I would imagine again they slow us down, but they can then speed up the visuals of the game. And the only reason they're slowing us down is because the calculations just don't work at high speed in this game. They've never done. The faster we go, the worse it gets. And the more that people go faster than slower, it just causes so much trouble. So again, this is where like the racers and people like this just need to calm down. Obviously, again, Black Maze, all the other guys, I've never been here from the very beginning. They've never seen the game when you're playing Arena Commander and you're doing 300 and it literally feels like current 600-700 in the game right now. Because the game moves faster. It feels faster. So fuck me if we're doing, like I said, if CIG were smart, they would make it where the maximum speed in SEM for every ship is 340 or something like that, and then they determine how fast you do it in, right? Or 350. Then that would make sense in any planet and stuff because you would be technically doing Mach 1, right? And most modern day fighters, planes, stuff like that can only do Mach 1 at certain things. It's only when they get up to super height that they can achieve Mach 2. And that's because they're super cruising. But you can't do, like right now on Daymar, I can do nearly Mach 3. Or like previously on Yella, I used to be able to do Mach 3, nearly Mach 3, like 5-10 feet off the deck. This was back in like 3.8 kind of situation, right? Then they changed it in 3.10 where you couldn't do this stuff. They brought in more effect. But on an arrow, you can do like 700 meters a second without needing afterburner in a straight line. That's over Mach 2. There is no way these ships would ever be able to deal with that pressure going at that speed. The moment that you hard turn, your fucking wings would rip off, you know? Again, we want, like, the game needs to be where we're currently here on Star Citizen fucking Junkyard Edition. This is DCS World Flight Simulator Edition. We want something juicy in the middle that works, that's not too realistic but not too arcadey, and it has a little bit of space magic just to make it playable. And if CIG can do this and make it fun and engaging, win. Absolute win. What people need to do is stop looking at this. Who cares about the little number, right? Who cares about that? Just accept, or just see how the visuals go, because I guarantee you the visuals will literally fucking determine this game a lot better. Okay, so we have Avenger Titan pilot here. It's called Noob 22. So, good chance that it's a fucking alt. But since it's firing IR, that's a stock fit. So we're gonna have a size 4 ballistic on the front, and we're gonna have 2 size 2 dealing with. But we also have a secondary target, maybe. And we're gonna just dodge out the IRs. What's our secondary? That's a return fire here, so Fox free over the shoulder. Fox free goes up. We go into our vertical. We keep fast. And we're slotting in right behind. Shield's gone. Afterburner around. Keep our high speed. And we slot right behind, and we go for a regen and finish. Again, no need to pip wiggle. No need to fucking do any arena commander shit. This is what you're gonna have in 4.0. Because again, you're not gonna have your tricording, you're not gonna have your fucking powerful left and rights, or your powerful backwards. You're actually going to have to use vertical and horizontal movement. And that Titan is just the valid reason of when you slow down and you turn too hard in atmosphere, especially hard atmosphere, you stall yourself out, or basically cause too much drag. Now obviously space won't have any drag, but it's the same sort of situation where you want to try and keep your energy up as much as you can. Actually, currently, I even force the NPCs in a PvP combat mission down to SCM and sometimes below. Yeah, exactly, dude. Again, this is why you only ever see me on Hard Atmosphere or Daymar or something like that. Space combat is so bad right now. It's so bad. Arena Commander, again, like, I understand, like, with Veshkan, why he enjoys, you know, Arena Commander and stuff. You know, it's that sort of, like, constant combat scenario. But for me, I just hate the flight model where it doesn't teach you to actually be a pilot. It teaches you just to follow a pip, and you don't care about your vectors and your speeds. So, yeah, good luck in 4.0 when that happens. Even in space, the moment that you fuck your vectors up, you're dead. You're gonna absolutely get riddled by 2 or 3 fucking ships. Tricord with full atmosphere model can actually rip the wings and overtake. Well, that's if they do stress, Freaky. That's if they do stress on that area, right? But I would imagine all that CIG are going to do is make it where you can literally cause yourself drag to engage a stall. And if they were really, really cool, they could do where you could have like engine outs and stuff like that, depending on it. But again, I don't think they'll do anything that crazy. I think they'll just make it where if you turn too hard in atmosphere, you're going to bottle off and fall out of the sky. So if you imagine this, right, we can actually simulate it to a certain degree. So say you're trucking along, we're gonna go into decouple, and you would pull backwards, or like you would slow yourself down. Imagine now you don't have any forward thrust because you're literally stalled yourself out or caused too much drag. The engines require too much stress, so as you push forward, you know what I mean, you would have this sort of motion where you're literally just spinning, because as you try to turn, you don't have the power to keep flight and you need to create lift and you create the lift and you start going faster and you have to level off. That's all I would imagine CIG are going to do for control surfaces. Nothing major, just if you slow yourself down too fast, you're going to basically become a stationary object. And everyone knows that when you're a stationary object in Star Citizen, no matter if you're in space, you just die. You just die. You get beamed too hard. Is that the Comrade? Yeah, that's the Comrade. What choices have we got? I wasn't really paying attention. Right. Oh, we can go to Edmund. Edmund's coming up, right? It'll be probably in the bout of the dark just now. In my mind... Oh. In my mind, only need a few bug fixes and tweaks to get space combat great, then add mechanics to slow it down without magic? No. Again, you've got to understand Ondo, right? Especially since none of us know this flight model ins and outs and stuff like that. There might be too many complications where CIG need to go, we need to just redo it. Right? There might be so much garbage within the current flight system that you go just a few bug fixes here and slow people down and that makes it work. Maybe it doesn't fucking work that way, dude. You know what I mean? Maybe if CIG could do it that way, they would do it, right? So you have to look at if they're completely rehauling everything, it's because they can't do what you just said. They have to scrap it and redo, like they're doing with the AI for Squadron 42. They can't take it any further, so they've got to scrap it and make another one. That's it. We have literally had, no joke, 5 years of doing what you've been suggesting, Ondo, and it does not work for Star Citizen. You have to build it from the base and grow up with it in mind, not fucking keep tweaking it and stuff like that. Might have to redo, they redo everything already? Not necessarily, they don't really, Nemesis, redo everything. They do what Ondo's done. They fix bugs and they do tweaks, and then other issues appear on top of it. But to my knowledge, they've only really redone flight and now AI in this game. The rest is just sort of built up on top of things. They're not rebuilding anything, they're rebuilding a full system, Ondo. They're rebuilding a full system, dude, because they're incorporating air and control surfaces that don't incorporate in our current system right now. So that is a redo, dude. Not just a little tweak here and there of space magic. Again, our current system right now does not... does not allow aerodynamics. Needs to be added. So it is a redo, dude. It's not just simple tweaks on the current system. It's a full redo. QCM is not QT. QCM is just basically a different name for going over SCM. That's it. We've had this before. Again. Yeah, but that's what they're doing, Ondo. They're building the system. So you take the flight model, right? And you can tweak SCM speeds and how thruster works. That's not changing the flight model. But they're building... You could look at it as DLC or something like that, which is the control surfaces and the aerodynamics. That then has to be added to the flight model, and all the tweaking does. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a redo. You could call it an upgrade if you want, but I look at it, they're purposely designing it for the future of tech that they want to put in. They're not simply just changing how SEM works and how boosters work. They're adding in that full mini-game of quantum boosting as well. You know what I mean? So quantum boosting, if people don't know, quantum boosting is literally where you've got SEM, you've got QCM, you've got quantum boosting, and then you've got quantum warping. Quantum boosting is taking away warping to OM points, and you have to play a minigame. That needs to be added into the current system, you know? Yeah, QCM is the base, but if you imagine you're going up to 1,000 meters a second right now, that's QCM. The difference is they're adding in the effect that when you go over these speeds and you want to go up to that top speed, there has to be a sacrifice, aka losing your shields over time, not being able to boost, not being able to, you know, drop countermeasures and stuff like that. It's just a different mode, a master mode as they've called it. You're switching between modes, but there are a few things being added to the flight system, and it's why I say it's a new flight model of sorts, because it's got to be able to take these things in as well. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what Undo says. QCM is what we have today, it's just, it disables features. Quantum boosting is a full new mechanic, because it's like Elite Dangerous's Super Cruise, where you can actually fly the ship whilst it's warping, because it's only designed to go from like OMs and to bunkers and to stuff like that, where if you could be warping to me right now, if you're bad at it, you can fall out maybe 200 kilometers away from me. You know what I mean? And then you've got to boost again, and it's got a fuel system. That's a brand new system. Then they're adding in control surfaces for the future, which is aerodynamics, control surfaces, and what other stuff they add in. So these are two brand new features being added to the current flight model, and the flight model will have SEM tweaks, which SEM tweaks is just basically changing the behavior of boosters to what they do, the power that they can actually achieve, to have the dampening effect where you can't trichord spam, you can't reverse backwards, you're going to be in a negative, because going forward is going to be the positive, you know? And again, this is where we have so many things on the go that everyone's speculating about how things are going to be are just wrong right now, because we have no idea the numbers, no idea. And like I've been saying, I don't even think CIG right now know the numbers. We've only seen them with the Gladius. The Gladius is for Squadron 42, so is the Hornet, F8 Lightning, you know, Vandal ships, stuff like that. They're working with the Squadron 42 right now, and then they will come probably at the start of next year to start fucking doing all the Star Citizen ships. And it's like, what, 180 things to do. That ain't no joke, you know? Well, Wolf, again, you have to look at it, yes, in current metals that we have right now in 2022, yes, arrows, hornets, sabers, vanguards, all these things going at that speed and turning at these G's would literally shatter, fall apart, stuff like that. But we have to look at 900 years in the future. Who, like, they call this the glass is not glass, it's see-through fucking steel, you know what I mean? So you have to look at that. You can play around with the sci-fi vibe of Star Citizen by going, right, there's these type of metals that you take fucking a plastic purple dildo, some gold, and some titanium, and you cook it in a fucking pot, and magically you got dildo vadium, you know? And it fucking is 5 times harder than steel. That's what you can do with sci-fi, because it's all make-believe to a certain degree, within certain boundaries. Digital video. How you doing, Amadeus? In before there is a fucking metal called digital video. But anyway, that's what you can do with Star Citizen. So yes, I agree with you that at certain speeds wings should shatter and rip off, right? But in Star Citizen you can get around that with space magic, sci-fi, and not have to worry about that kind of crap. Maybe they will add it in the future, right? Maybe, who knows, but not now, probably not in my lifetime, so again, I don't care. All we need is a decent flight model which allows CIG to finally balance the weapons, because when everyone's talking about, oh, they're only doing this to balance around combat, no they're not. Oh, they're only doing this to nerf racing, no they're not. They're trying to build general flight for everyone with an idea that in combat we have problems where people can disengage too fast. Maybe the calculations for the future of what they're adding in just don't work in the current system, so that's why they also have to slow us down. It's not just all for combat, you know? They maybe have shown that at Squadron 4, CitizenCon, but you know what I mean? It's more of a bigger, grand scale of things than just these sort of areas. But you balance combat off it, because when we actually get a flight system that works for every area, right? Not just one area, but every area, it means that they can finally balance shields and weapon systems, which then balances combat. And fixes some of the issues, right? Because again, we don't have any nobody G's out in this game anymore. And that is a really cool thing to see, when people are pushing their ships to limits and they're G'ing out. Interesting moment of joining chat. Well, again, we're having a discussion of where, you know what I mean? Like, for me, if you take the most arcadey game right now, you take DCS World, one of the most obviously simulator flight systems in the game, and you build something in the juicy middle part where it's arcadey and fun, with a few sim sort of situation to make it that quote space sim sort of video game, and you're not pushing too hard into the hardcore area, and you're not going into the juicy softcore kind of arcadey gameplay, right? You want to keep it in the middle, fun, engaging for everyone to get involved with, and everyone, not just combatants, not just racers, not just low flyers like myself. Everyone who flies from A to B needs to have it where it's fun. Then you build on everything else after that. This game needs a fucking foundation, and my god, we've been waiting for years till CIG just nails something and think, this could be it. I'm not gonna say, oh, they won't do another flight model in the future. Yeah, they might, you know what I mean? This might be a pile of shit, and the guys at CIG, Yogi and Coulson, just go, you know what, I'm gonna go and find another fucking job. I'm done with this kind of stuff, you know? And they get somebody else in, and, you know, 20 years later, we're still playing Star Citizen, or hoping for Star Citizen. So I hope it's good enough where everyone sort of accepts it, and we can start building the foundations of Star Citizen and going forward. Because again, you can't balance weapons, ships, shields, modules, land vehicles, until you have an actual system that works. Newsflash, I bet you can still disengage as easy as now. No, you won't be able to disengage. Again, like you will, but sorry, I should rephrase that. You will be able to disengage, but it's going to require you to think a few more seconds than you can right now, Ondo. You know? And that's a big thing. You want every player to be able to avoid a fight if they are clued up. You cannot make this game where PvPers, and I'm a PvPer, low flyer, whatever you want to call me, there is no way you can make this game where if I shoot at you, that's it. You now have to fucking either fight me or die. Fuck that shit. That means that just pure sweats will dominate this game and people will leave. And it won't do well. You have to have a middle ground where people are forced into a fight, but they also, if they are smart and think ahead of certain things, they can avoid these situations, which is currently what people do a lot right now, okay? But when sweaty PvPers are saying no, when you get into a fight with me, you're dead, no, that you're gonna be able to disengage. You're just not gonna be able to do it as fast. Imagine you're fighting on Hurston like now. This is why I keep saying to people for the past week, go to Hurston, go down to this height and fight people, and you will actually see what it is. I get so salty with the speed limiter thing, really grinds my gears. The speed limiter thing, what do you mean, dude? When you talk about speed limiter, what speed limiter? You're talking about the locking down the SAMs? Because they're not locking SAMs down. Yeah, but that's not in 4.0. You have the ability to do that, but you can also go over SAM speed, dude. The difference is when you go over SAM speed, you can't capacitor. That's it. They literally said you can go over, like right now, okay? That's me locked to SAM, right? Now, say for example, they make this 300. If I take off SAM right now, my normal speed is 300. I'm going to be able to do this, and then when I boost, I'll be able to go over, and then it'll slow us down, right? Because again, you've got to take into account there has to be a gameplay to slow people down. But you can still do exactly what you do just now. The difference is you just can't regen your... Again, this is where everyone is so used to ships having unlimited power for some reason. Everyone has it in their mentality. We don't have unlimited power in our cars. The moment you over-rev, you can have stall-outs or, you know, issues with things in your car. It's the same with planes. You can't just fucking hold an afterburner and keep fucking going. It doesn't work that way. Really, because you would run out of fuel really fucking fast. That's why most pilots these days use supercruise. They get to a certain height and they just literally let the less gravity and air density allow them to go faster and faster on their normal propulsion. When somebody's super cruising at crazy heights in Earth right now, they're not fucking holding the afterburner down. But But to get over your SEM speed right now, Ondo, you only get so much over it, right? And also you've got to take into account, how do you know that it's going to just instantly go back to under SEM speed the moment you let go of Afterburner? This is the thing that people just are freaking out about. We don't know. We don't know. CIG are always, throughout the history of time, been very bad with their wording and describing things. And most likely when that video was created, they had already changed things off, you know? But again, it's not set in stone, dude, you know what I mean? It's not set in stone. We have no idea what the next 6 months bring. Or however long it takes. They literally said in the video that they were just finishing the design around it, not the finalized, this is what it's going to do, you know? Again, yeah, they seem clear right now, but let them start tweaking other ships and go, ah shit, you know what, this actually doesn't work, you know what I mean? Or maybe they make it an interceptor thing, where only interceptors can go over SEM speed without Afterburner, you know what I mean? The ship punches above its weight. Where are these weight classes? I know, dude. I know. Again, this is where we have a general idea of where CIG want to go with things, but we have no concrete proof of what they're actually going to give us. It's all speculation and theory crafting, which is cool. People can have their opinions. But as I've said, I don't even think CIG are finalized on things. They're going to come across things very shortly, especially as they're only working on Squadron 42 right now. And when they start doing the tweaks for all ships, they might have to change things on their initial plan, because it just doesn't work. But right now, I would definitely see that you're going to be able to sort of go over SEM speed, but if you look at this right now, I can barely go over SEM speed on Atmosphere. Now, if they make it where there's some sort of dampening effect in space that does the same sort of thing, this is just gameplay mode. And if people want it to be faster and more simulated, play a different game. Because again, what they are doing is to solve the calculation issues of this video game. To allow people to board people without going crazy speeds, you know? Eventually down the line, you're just going to have to accept that this game is full of space magic. Because again, they're trying to make a World War II dogfighter in space 6 DOF. It doesn't fucking work under simulated environment. It just doesn't work. All that Star Wars shit, it doesn't work. Star Trek doesn't work. It's all sci-fi, and that's what sci-fi is about. That it's just magic. That's it. Only something like The Expanse shows you exactly how it would be. And that is shit for a video game. No joke. It would be so shit. Everyone would be bored. So sacrifices have to come into play. You don't like it that there's going to be space drag? Tough. You know? I just don't see any other way of them sorting this game out because the calculations just get thrown so hard. Well, maybe they do, Ondo. Maybe they do, dude. You know what I mean? Maybe they make it where you naturally roll into QCM over time. I'm fine with that. Because you can't afterburner, right? So the moment that you go over a certain speed threshold, make it where it automatically puts you into QCM. And you just can't use afterburner. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? But until we get out of the, or keep with the mentality that this is a video game, it's got to be fun, engaging, and work, you can't have people just bombing around at their whatever speed they want, because that's how they're disengaging so fast. Yeah, again, they could do that, dude. I mean, if you look at it, CIG are hell-bent on going with this capacitor system. I think the capacitor system sucks. I think they should have made it more realistic, where you start draining your power plant. So Afterburner literally goes on fuel. Shield and energy weapons would go off heat and power plant, where you have to sacrifice certain areas. You can't tank and shoot at the same time. You know what I mean? So you have to sort of change out the roles. And the more you do things, the more stress you put on the power plant, damaging it over time. instead of people having this unlimited ability to do things. I hate it. I hate this unlimited capacitor shit. And then they make it where ballistics are so shit. Yeah, I mean, they could easily do something like that. They could make it where you can't afterburner if you're recharging your shields. Simple as that. You have to use your afterburner to get away from somebody, then you regain your shields. You know what I mean? Again, sometimes the simplest things CIG overlook, right? It's like with my design on weapons. The most simplest system to add to the game, not even considered. And I'm not a developer, I just look at it that it would make it a lot easier for developers to come in and when they don't have to constantly tweak things. But we'll see. Again, let's see what CIG do, and then we can give feedback on it. Because again, right now, speculation, theory crafting. Maybe in the next month, after they come back from their holidays in January, they go, you know what, I had a brainstorm over the holidays, I was listening to TheDarkLaw and Ondo rant about things, and this actually makes more sense. That's all we can do about it. But when people are constantly crying about it, saying this is going to break this is going to break that, these people have fucking zero idea what it's going to do. You're just worried that you're not going to be able to do what you're able to do right now, and that's the biggest thing with people. That everyone is so used to being able to go this crazy fucking speed and do these crazy maneuvers without any consequences, and CIG just seem to be adding consequences, that's it. Delia, may I remind you, your engines overheat. Cartol rant when they said how they tried to slow our unlimited power. Yeah, because again, they made it where your engine stalled out, Wolf. The overheat system was never my complaint. It was the complaint with overheating on engines was you lost power to your engines, which makes no sense. You would never build an engine that literally decides to turn off whilst you overuse it or stuff like that. I don't know, Ram says the following, just get good, stop crying. Well, let's see what Ram says when the new system comes in, Vashkan, you know what I mean? Everyone can flap their fucking gums right now, but that's all it is, ever. Flapping their gums. Let's see where Ram is when 4.0 comes. That's the problem I have with fucking PvP, or especially Arena Commanders. All you guys do is fucking chest beat like you're something fucking amazing. You're not. Hate to tell you that. The game isn't out. You're just using what is meta or broken in the game right now to your advantage. That's it. Let's see when this game is actually fucking working. Calculations work. And let's see where the fucking chest beaters come from, eh? Because right now, nobody is anybody in this game. New flight model will bring many tears, but will make many more happy. I think it'll just make the game feel a bit more like it makes sense, right? Spitfire Mark 1 has left the game. Unfortunately, that's kind of like how it is in certain things, but, you know. I don't think we're going to get any, we've only had one bounty hunter here, so I think we will skedaddle, chat, onto another server. See what we can get. I've still got access to the old 2.5 screenshot with the old weapon stats. I miss this so much. Back then it kind of worked, right? But the problem is that that flight model would have never worked in atmosphere. Because it was, well, we had it for a start. And people were doing crazy fucking shit, right? So it worked for Arena Commander, but it would never work for the PU, because everyone was able to go just fucking in any direction at super speed, all that jazz, you know? I don't think it would have ever worked correctly for turret gameplay as well, if everyone had the ability to just spin around and do stuff, you know? Did I cop an ad timer? I was enjoying the discussion. Well, guess what? Here you go. Enough water? Yeah, I'm fine. Wonder if I can actually access the bottle now. The other server fucking fucked up. Let's see if we can do it. No, I can't. Have these bugged then? Let's split one. No, they're fucking gone, man. Interesting. So I can't use the water anymore. I can't even equip my helmet. Oh, there we go. Ooh, very delayed. No more ads for me. Got him. Like you did. I didn't get any notification on that. Maybe it's slow. No, it's bugged, man. Even splitting it, I don't know why it's bugged. I think it's because one of them went invisible. Maybe it's just ruined the patch. I think next time we swap server, I'll buy some more and see if I can stack them. Maybe they're just fucked. Oh, Prime sub. Thank you very much, dude. Oh. So again, yeah, going back what we were discussing. You know what I mean? Like, back before 3.0, the game was a lot of fun, right, Wolf? The flight combat was 300, 400 meters a second at maximum speed, and you could go in every direction at any speed. It didn't make sense. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was really, really fun, but it didn't make any sense when you saw, like, for example, a Hornet or a Vanguard or anything like this, Saber. They've got such small thrusters and just big thrusters. So what CIG are doing is they're incorporating 6 DOF into the game, not only for space and atmosphere, but they're making it where it makes sense to a certain degree. Because CIG fucked up on the design of this game. If they wanted to keep it where everyone was moving at the same speed, they should have designed every ship to be like the Car2All, right? Then it would be awesome, right? Nobody would complain if everyone's ship moved to a certain speed, but you could move in any direction and combat would be great, and they just slow it down. But all these ships are designed around looking like jet fighters or, you know what I mean, like Star Wars and Star Trek kind of shit like that. So because they've designed it around like that, it looks stupid when you're moving at maximum speed in one direction off the tiniest little fucking thruster, and you can't even EVA, like, you know what I mean? It starts making stupid sense because the EVAs don't move at these speed, yet they're like pretty much the same sort of size. So CIG are just creating it where you have the ability to strafe left and right, up and down, depending on your thruster placement, but they're making it where your main engine is going to be pushing you. So you're going to be flying more like dogfighters, like if you're flying Microsoft, DCS World, IL-2, Jane, stuff like that. You're more thinking about going forward, and before you go into the turns, you use your afterburners to keep the hard turns going round, and instead of you literally fighting like this, like an FPS shooter, you're having to fly more like this. That's all they're doing to the game. The problem is, everyone who's so used to Arena Commander for the past like 5 years is tripping off walls right now because they think it's going to suck. Because they're so in this mentality that you should be facing each other, or you get around somebody and then they just turn to look like this. This is the shittest gameplay possible. Go and play any fucking flight sim game, arcade game, where you actually have to dogfight, and it's way more engaging than what we have in Star Citizen. And that's what they're changing with this stuff. If you can't have it where all ships behave like a Car2All, you have to make it where everything flies like a dogfight. Is the Car2All then going to kick the shit out of other things? No, it won't. Because I would guarantee you that it doesn't go as fast as it does right now, because there will have to be a sacrifice made. Again, taking away the unlimited power. We know that they want to bring overheating back, but it's going to be on a new system that obviously will be looked into the past system and gone, you know what, this doesn't work, but we want weapons to overheat, we want engines to overheat, but they need to be under serious strain or gunfire. We need a way to disable people's quantum drive, so you know how like some people flick to constantly quantum drive and stuff. Maybe you burn it out where it shuts down for a numerous amount of seconds to allow boarding, allows capture, all these things. If you make it where everyone moves like a fucking Gundam, and I mean every ship that moves like a Gundam, this game is scuffed. Because people don't have the mentality to do the mathematical equations like in Interstellar the movie, where for docking and stuff. It's just not possible. This game has to be fun for everyone who plays it. Not just a group of sweats, not just a group of sweaty racers, not a group of low flyer sweats, but for every backer. Then it needs to be where you can develop real fucking skills to go places. And that's it. Then you have an award-winning fucking flight model. But people are too used to what we have right now and not willing to let go. These are quartlers. They're cannons that you used to only get if you owned Saber Ravens. So back in like 3.4, everyone would buy like Saber Ravens to put them on because they were actually one of the best cannons at the time. But now you can buy them in game. Obviously I've got 2 Saber Ravens because I got them for like $10 a pop. And I never bought them for 3.4, by the way. I bought them after 3.4 when people were selling them for super cheap. Because I was like, alright, I'll have a couple of Ravens for $20, no problem, like, you know? But no joke, like, for me, with all the changes that they're talking about and stuff, I'm happy for it. Because you know what I really want to fly around in? I want to fly around in a Mark II Super Hornet. Veshkan flies around in a Hornet. I want to fly around in the Mark II. I don't really like the Mark I because of how it looks. But the Mark II Super Hornet looks sick. Or like the normal Hornet looks sick. I would love to have a fucking gunner in that commando kind of shit. I don't think it... Oh, it will have a Mark II, dude. Yeah, it'll have a Mark II. The people who you claim sweaty have fun, so maybe the rest has to just learn how to fly like them. Shut up, Casper. Shut up, dude. Alright. The game is not based around sweaty people in an arena commander wanting to have their say. It's around everyone who backed this game. And funnily enough, Star Citizen is literally 90% PvE to 10% PvP. So, as much as I like to do PvP, low fly and all that stuff, fuck the PvPers and their cries. Fuck the racers and their cries. Fuck the low flyers and their cries. The game, you know, everyone backed the game for different reasons. You have to build a flight system around everyone, not just a minority of people. And that's just hopefully what CIG are doing. Make it where you can PvP. Make it where it's fun to PvP. Make it where it's fun to race. But not where it's governing everything. Because you know what CIG could do? And do the DCS world kind of situation is make a global physics flight model, and what you do is have separate flight models for every ship. But that's going to take CIG years to redo, right? That's why DCS world takes years to come out with a plane. You know? But again, we just can't keep going around in these circles where you get it where combat's good, but then people who do mining and trading hate it because they can't do anything. For whatever reason, I've never understood that one. So then CIG come and cocktail up again, and then people who are now racing are like, oh no, we need to have our say, which is fine. You can have your say, you can have your opinion, but you have to look at it that CIG needs to focus on just making a flight system that works for everything, and then we can have certain tweaks here for certain ships. But we can't do it on the current system because it's just an absolute scuff mess. But I do not like the mentality that everyone should have to learn how to fly. Everyone should have to learn to fly, but not to a sweaty, you know what I mean? Like not to a hardcore pro level of playing this game. That's not cool for backers to be able to do that. And again, I'm fine, because for me, I've got the time, I can play hardcore, I can play softcore, I can play casual, whatever CIG decides. I can have this as a full simulator and I wouldn't care, I'll still play it. I could have it where it's an arcade game and I would eventually accept it and play it. But not everyone has that mentality, not everyone has the time to be sweat. And this game is not built around sweaty players. It's why MMOs don't work these days, right? Have you noticed that generally, when you play an MMO, you're more solo than you are group? You do things solo. And it is a true thing. The MMOs are dying right now because they always focus around that you need to be doing group things and not enough kind of like solo content. I think CIG should go with where there's a lot of solo content, there's a lot of like multi-role kind of content, and then, you know, the rest. No, a game is great when you can get in easy and have a hard time to master it. Exactly. That's why I don't understand when people are moaning about the system, Veshkan. Just go in, that it's going to be easier for other people to play the game, and you master your own skills to become whatever tier you want to class yourself as. But if CIG keep listening to the fucking PvPers or people who think they know what this game should be like and stuff, and I'm not including myself, I'm just literally giving an opinion. I'll play the game either way. I have done since 2012. When they changed the flight model for low flying and people were like upset about it, I just continued and honed my skills. That's it. PvP's not been in an area where I've enjoyed it, so I do other things. How many games that are purely PvP focused? You could possibly say Tarkov would be like a good high percentage of PvP. Like, obviously it's a looter shooter, so I would say probably like what, 80% PvP focused because of the weapons and the design, and then maybe 20% or like 10% looting, 10% PvE sort of stuff. Yeah, so like PvEX, basically. It's something like that. But obviously, you know, the game is designed around PvP, because if you didn't have PvP... I mean, to be honest, the AI is actually pretty good in Tarkov from what I've seen. So they could just do a full PvE version instead of having PvP. Might work, actually. PUBG? Well, we're talking... That's now moving into shooters. You know what I mean, devs? Shooters are always designed around PvP, and unless it's like Borderlands, which is more like an action storyline kind of video game, right? I'm talking about like MMOs. They're generally not designed around a PvP focus. Even EVE Online. EVE Online has some of the biggest PvP in an MMO, and it's not its main focus. They've just got a really good system where they just go out into this area and fuck each other. We don't care. That's the way that EVE do it. They don't build ships purposely around PvP. Well, Rust is not really an MMO. Well, yeah, it would be an MMO, because you can get quite a few kind of things like that. Again, like, you know what I mean? Like, long as you look at certain games, like Rust, Ark, these kind of games are all designed around, you know, sandbox and survival kind of stuff like that, you know? I'm talking about, like, say World of Warcraft, PvP kind of stuff, you know? You only have, like, the arena kind of stuff. Oh my god, that was fast. Oh shit, two at once. Ooh. This could be interesting. I only have a ping on one though now. This is the problem with radar, is there probably is a secondary one, or it was a loose missile. Let's see. I think comparing SE to MMO genre is useful to some areas, but not helpful in FPS and flight design. Well, again, CIG like to call Star Citizen a simulator. I don't really see many simulator aspects of it, you know what I mean? That's quite high. That is not moving. What's a guild PvP in Rust? Yeah. I'm more looking at like an MMO. I mean, yes, you could say Rust is an MMO, but whenever I say MMO, it's like, you know, MMO kind of game like WoW, EverQuest, stuff like that, you know? Alright, so we got a 40 kilometer and we got the 20 above us. The 20 is actually gone now. They could have warped out to a different location. Yeah, definitely moving away from simulator. And I think that's a smart choice, Ondo, because again, the mentality of gamers these days do not want to spend much time in games, right? They don't have much time. It's the same when you make content. You know what I mean? 20 minutes is about the length of video that somebody wants to watch, and especially where they can watch it on the shitter, when they're having coffee and breakfast, and then they put their phones away, you know what I mean? That kind of content works really well. So if you look at, say, somebody has on average an hour to play this game, they want it where that person can come in and play and have fun, because that will make money in the future. Sweats will always buy skins and stuff like that, But like everything in life, you want new backers to come in, fresh blood, and if you make it too complicated like a simulator, nobody buys this game, right? If you have reviews saying don't play Star Citizen, it's just too difficult to play, you know, I don't have the time for a game like this, that's it, done. We all lose at that situation. So CIG are looking to try and make a system that works for everyone, and then hopefully, if they can balance PvP correctly around it, you'll get a fun, engaging PvP system that doesn't have any cheese. Because that's, like, I don't give a shit about a ship being OP or something like that, you know what I mean? You can always overcome those kind of things. We're looking at avoiding cheese, avoiding cheats, avoiding, you know, one-trick pony where everyone just flies an arrow, for example, and nothing else gets used. I want to see everything usable. Because that's what people back the game for, where their favorite looking ship for their favorite looking role can be used. And right now it's not really the case, you know? So anything that sorts that gameplay out, I'm all for. Pro, sort this game out where everyone can play the game. Then come up with an in-depth system to make it challenging for people in Arena Commander to get into. But again, every PvPer I've listened to, that I sort of hold their opinion over other people, are all happy about the changes coming. So there we go. And for me, I don't PvP on a crazy level anyway, so I'm happy to go and learn something new. Because I hate this system. So anything that's not this system, I'm for. Pro, get the fuck away from this crap. It's a bit new here. Where can we go? We can go to... Where should we go? Not how it... We were literally... It looked like there was going to be 2 people coming in on us, and then they decided to warp away. Through the clouds. Lovely. Look at that. Woo! Let's get a wee fucking screenshot of that for a thumbnail. See, in 4.0 we're gonna have to do a mini game at this point. I'm gonna have to fucking fly, which is cool, man. Yeah, but there's where, again, why bother flying a Hornet when you can just fly everyone in Gladius or arrows under, you know what I mean? Or Cartuals, Talons. It can't just be with the mentality that this ship is only good for support, not solo. No. It should be good in all situations, but stronger in a certain situation. Right now, they have this horrible, horrible system where you just literally turn up in one ship and you shit on everything. Can't move, dies in a fire, then the complaint goes in, oh, but you gotta wait for them to add an armor. Fuck off, man. Oh, shit. Is that actually on location? Oh, it is on location. I thought it was just literally out in nowhere. I didn't say it had to be good in all situations. Just, it shouldn't always be a support role. It was never designed as a support ship, funnily enough. It's meant to absolutely shit on shit in space. Same with the Saber. But they just made light fighters too powerful. Now, if they dropped the weapon size on light fighters, as I've always talked about, this would solve a lot of problems. But CIG are not willing to drop the fucking meta ships down, even though they don't want meta, for some reason. Again, everything will make sense in a few months. Even what I'm saying right now will most likely change. And I really don't care, PvPers don't like it, or racers don't like it, low flyers don't like it, I don't give a shit. Go and play other games, guys. Either adapt and get good at the system all the time and that's it. But everything to get rid of the cheese of the current system of Star Citizen has to be added. Too long it's been going on for. It makes no sense. It's not fun. Nobody fucking talks about it, and You know what I mean? Like 200 people that play Arena Commander for PvP just don't have an opinion for me as far as it's not to be disrespectful, but there's like what 4 million backers that need to be able to play this game and enjoy it. Same with racers. You just gotta deal with it. The game is so empty because nobody likes playing it. People are burnt out with the current system. You would like to freak out about it? No, you have to go back for the VOD, and you can then catch up. So give me that ad revenue on the VOD, and then you can have a say. Come on, Phoenix! Leave! I don't even think it. Maybe it's doing Vandal, Mask, Helmet, Farmer. So we a little geek on the stats. Scanning so slow. Look at that. Fucking Phoenix with Aegis Gladius decoy launcher. Wow. Wow. Does the Phoenix get a Merlin attached to it at the start? Maybe that's it. Let's have a wee geek in here. This is where I wish you could have that kind of stuff. Does it have one? No, it doesn't. So the Connie actually has a Gladius countermeasure system? Fucking hell. Oh, yeah, so the Phoenix has a Gladius one. Oof. That's rough. TDL managed to turn my opinions into cash. Yep, exactly did. Gotta pay the bills somehow. He's just not using it right. So yeah, so the Connie definitely has a size 1 countermeasure system. This is one thing I don't understand, right? Because everyone goes, oh, EM missiles are OP. They're not OP, it's just you're firing out size 1 countermeasures, right? So if you actually do the maths correctly for like Scorpius and stuff like that, if you preset your flares, you can actually deflect all EM missiles on these big ships. You just gotta work out the numbers on it. But it's so silly that everything has these launchers, and then you have shit like the Hercules that just has the real system where it can just jettison hundreds of fucking flares, you know? Oh, I like the way EM... I wish all missiles were like EM Ondo. Because again, it's just the calculation on flares, but then with the way it's set up, you need to jettison out more flares. One of the biggest issues that Star Citizen created is that they have certain ships that have far too many missiles. Far too many missiles. So what they should really do with the Connie is make it where the Connie has like 3/4 of its missile bank taken away, but the missiles are really, really good, right? And it's the same with Cutlass. Take away the huge amount of missiles, the 48 size ones, and make it where it can only have 16, for example, but make the missiles really impactful, and this would be so good for the game. Because the problem you have is if you overtune missiles to make them fun and engaging, you have to do what I've just said, because if somebody has the ability to pump 100 missiles at you, there's no way you can counter that at all. And this would be solid gameplay. So for like the Saber, right? I have it where I've got 16 missiles on board, and you can see them in there. Just make it where the Saber can only have like 4 to 8 missiles, but they're really, really effective, you know? Yeah, because that's on the new system, right? But for fighters, like for example, the Saber is a gold standard Casper, right? And I've only got 48 flares. Yeah, if somebody's in a Connie, they can pump out 100 missiles at me, there's nothing I can do. So I would rather it where they can fire missiles at me and they're very deadly, but they can't over spam, you know? Yeah, but I would rather, like, instead of making them stupidly expensive, Wolf, just tone it down. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Hammerhead doesn't need to have, like, 120 size 2 missiles. Or whatever it is. No, it's like 60 or something like that, size 2. Because it's got like 30 size 3 or something. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't need that many. Yeah, that's it, 64, thank you, Sal. So make it where it can have 30 size 2, and they're just effective, right? That would make more sense, but when ships are like sitting at that amount, it's crazy. You guys remember when Vanguards could fit the remote missile launcher of an 890 and they had 30 size-free missiles, right? Does anybody remember this? You literally on the shoulder mounts of the Vanguard Warden, or any of them, you could actually put a remote turret from an 890 on these with the missile launchers and you could have up to 30 plus size-free missiles. That is stupid for something so small. So I would rather have way more missile engagement and it means something than spamming as a commodity, you know? Oh, that's awesome. That's not awesome, dude. That's so game breaking. Do you guys remember into Free 4 where you could have a Gladius with 22 guns strapped to it? Does anybody remember this? A Gladius with 22 guns strapped to it. It was so broken because you could put weapons on the missile launcher slots. So your missile launcher could have 4 guns, but here's the crazy thing. The bug was so bad, you could have 3 guns on a missile launcher and then put another missile launcher, adding another 3 guns, then another missile launcher and 3 guns. So you literally, if you had the patience, you could go up to unlimited guns. And it would just, so you saw glaives going around with like 10 size 5s and they would just one-shot Connies. They would just go behind a Connie and go blap. Just fucking blow up. And everyone raged so hard about it. But now, because things are slowing down slightly, people are on the same sort of level of rage, you know? I would rather have the game slowed down than having 20 fucking guns strapped to a Gladius. Or speed hack where you could constantly go 2k meters a second in every direction. Thank God all of this gets taken out of the game. The amount of cheese that's in Star Citizen disgusts me at times. Everyone thinks it's fucking, you know, good for the game, right? Whatever, man. The only thing it's good for is that CIG get rid of it before we actually have a finalized product. And that's the truth of it. Fucking being able to manipulate G's, going backwards at full speed, tricording like there's no tomorrow, calculations are all fucking craziness. Nah. No thank you. I remember when 85X came in, you could strap them to the Saber, giving... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, you guys remember the 600i, where you could take the remote turrets of the 890 or the 600i and put them on the top? So you had 6 size freeze on the... 6 size freeze on the 600i, and you had them in auto gimbal. You would literally disintegrate a fighter in seconds, man. It was crazy. So again, like, anytime Star Citizen has these things with all this cheese, these bugs, I'm all for when, like, Coulson, Yogi, all the team decide to go, you know what, this ain't working, we can't really sort it out here, let's spend the next 6 months making a system that will work with the knowledge that we have from the past and hope for the fucking best, you know, if it's what people want. And again, for me, I'll take that over broken. Any day of the week. I would rather adapt than have to always deal with like shield holes and high-speed combat and people not wanting to play and stuff. That's not fun for a video game. They can balance fight model as much as they want, just keep space as space is, more salt and tears. Again, dude, it's not just keeping it to space, right? Because again, Coulson, Yogi, all these guys know the job better than you. I'm going to be disrespectful in that point. They know the job better than you. And there are things that they don't need to tell us, like, say this certain thing just breaks the game. It's the same with the elevators in Grim Hex. Everyone's like, why are the elevators not fixing Grim Hex? Because I know after speaking to the team, there's something really fucking scuffed with it, and it's requiring them to redo the whole system. That's why it's not a hotfix, it needs a full redo, because it's fucking scuffed. And it could be the same thing for 4.0 flight model. There might just be something in the game, in the code, that doesn't work to what you want it to be on though. And that's probably why the easiest way for them to do is to find a solution that does make it work. Because either that, you need to make it where it's like going to be Star Citizen 2 to actually play the game. And we're all going to be dead before we see Star Citizen 2, let's be honest. Unless you're like 10 years old right now, you got a chance of playing. But I ain't waiting another 20 years to play Star Citizen. Just because people want space to be a certain way. Or racers want it to be a certain way, you know what I mean? I actually just want to play this game before I snuff it. And that's why I try and get as many hours as I can. And not because I'm a full-time content creator for it, or this is where I get my money from it. It's because I want to make sure my money invested into Star Citizen is fucking used up. I want my hours. I'll happily fly around this fucking Phoenix for an hour until somebody engages me just so I get an hour of gameplay off my list. Well, yeah, they could do stairs, but again, CIG just... You can have elevators. The way they do elevators just seems overcomplicated, and I've described how I would do it, Skylum. Now, I'm not a coder, but if you look at... Let me just stop here so we don't get the noise, right? If you look how the elevator works, you go into an elevator, it spawns an elevator when you activate it, and it rotates and it moves around. What I don't understand is when this elevator spawns, why it couldn't teleport to a location within the area, because you're invisible anyway, right? Or it stays there, it doesn't move, it makes the sounds and the vibrations, and then the elevator, instead of moving up, just literally teleports into the location it's meant to be, and it opens its doors, right? The problem is, when this happens, is somebody on one level, and this is why Grimhex is scuffed, is you have one person on the level, one person on another level, and they spawn the elevator at the same time. Then they go up at the same time, and it opens at the same time, and you have this fucking Narnia system of where one person can get out of the elevator that they were part of, but the other person can't get out of theirs because the elevator is blocking the door. It's invisible walls, and this is what's happening. So CIG have to change the whole system where... If you see, we used to have this problem with the trams. The trams used to be where it was always one or two trams going around the circle, right? Okay? And what would happen is, then they made it where they spawned within 2 seconds of you walking up to the platform, and it would stroll in. This causes the overlapping that we get, right? And what happens with that is the same thing is happening with elevators where you can't get out of it. So they have to redesign the system to allow two elevators to come up, but they don't intertwine with each other. So the moment that you walk out of the elevator, you see somebody run, and you go, oh, they weren't in with me. They were just in a Narnia plane, basically, you know? It's not a macro, guys. It's literally just my button set up to keep pushing itself. It's not a macro. Hate to tell you that, guys. Literally a toggle button, that's all. Purple. Toggle button. Beautiful stuff. Can I vote to redesign SC? No, dude. I would actually like to play before I die, you know? Elevator portals. Exactly. This is how they solve the trams, they solve certain things. If you get into the elevator with somebody else, you're part of the same instance. But you can't have it where the two instances are overlapping each other. This is what's causing the problem. So CIG just need to make it where when you're in the elevator, another instance of the elevator does not cause you to not be able to escape. You'll basically have it where when you walk out of that elevator, somebody will phase in as well, and you'll be like, alright, cool. You know, you understand that they were in the elevator, they just weren't right beside you at the time, you know? Unless you get in at the same time. This is all CIG has to do to fix it. They need to make it where they don't overlap, and the door of one instance is stopping you getting through yours. And that's the main issue. So it's not a hotfix, because I know, like I bring up, there was a lot of people putting tweets down saying, CIG, you need to fix this, it needs to be fixed now. It's not a hotfix thing that they can do. They need to rework it completely from the ground up. So there's a fix for Grimhex and other things. You just need to fucking do it until they rework it. This is where I think they should just make it where elevators teleport instead of moving. You get into the elevator, you get the rumble, you get the idea that it's moving, but it's just teleporting to another location after time, right? Alright, so we got a cutlass red coming in on us. Let's do that so we spike a little bit. Make it easier. There we go. Right. That's target 4. Subsystem engine. Engaging now. We have a gunner, I think. Let's bring her up. Keep her vertical. Fox free on that. And bring him down. Shields are getting hit by... I think this person actually flared off correctly, which is really cool. Let's bring it down. Still bringing down. I want to get them right down to where I want them. Make them lose their speed. So they're going to engage missiles now. Nice and down, nice and down. Also at half fuel, so I need to watch on this one. Let's do on this. There we go. Let's push him behind. They're taking no damage. Oh no! What the fuck? MFD's not updating. That's weird. Alright. Alright. Goodbye. That's so weird, man. MFD would not update. It showed you the engine decline, but it didn't show you any hit reg. Silly stuff. Oh, I finally remember the real elevator at Levski. Yeah, the real elevator worked, but you know what? Why they changed it, Wolf? It's because people complained that they had to wait for like an elevator to arrive. But you do it in real life! So why? Why can't you spend 2 or 3 minutes waiting for an elevator? And this is why they started doing the instances. Because people saw the elevator go past their level and they're like, oh my god, the 30 seconds of my life for the elevator to come back down is too much for me. Let's make it where there are instances and shit like that, you know? It's the same thing with why we can quantum to outposts and bunkers and be 20k off them, because no joke, people complained about traveling 20 kilometers through space, but you travel 20 kilometers through atmosphere, which is even slower. And that's why we have the ability to warp in and out of atmosphere, because people couldn't be bothered to travel 20 kilometers. Even though you do it already and still do it. It's bonkers stuff. Ooh. Maybe too high. Or we're 30k, maybe? Nah, there we go. Just go this as well. I hate in-planet quantuming. I hate it, dude. Around it is fine, man. You know what I would love to see, right, Veshkan? When allow people to warp to outposts, but you literally warp to above it in space and you have to come down, right? Through the atmosphere. And make it where you have to have, like, so instead of like 10 kilometers on Hurston, you have to go 20 kilometers. And on a moon, make it 20 kilometers. You know what I mean? Put it back to where you have to go out of the atmosphere to warp, but you can warp to above locations. That would solve the issue where we saw having people easily escaping by being able to just go, all right, now I can just warp in atmosphere, you know? But let me land next to... Oh, you mean trade from, like, not being at a natural landing pad, Casper? Yeah, I'm well for that, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. You know where you go in the side entrance to the trading place at New Babbage? I don't understand why you can't just land on the outskirts and it just takes information like outpost here, right? Because when you're filling up your cargo in an outpost like this, you don't need to land on the pad, right? You don't need to store the ship. You can just dunk yourself down here. I don't understand why places like New Babbage and Hurston don't offer that as well. Why you have to land at a location is beyond me. And I hope this changes with like the Hurston redesign, because I kind of feel like they're making it where you move away from, like you're not landing in the center of Hurston, you're going to land at areas around Hurston and tram it in. I mean, it's still a game, so some things are better saving time, even if 2 minutes, like why? Yeah, but again, this is where, again, Casper, when I talk about it, we had a working system in Star Citizen, right? So the elevators used to work, but CIG changed it because people complained that they had to wait for an elevator to come back down to collect them. You know what I mean? So when they have a fully working mechanic that works and they just have multiple lifts, they now have it where you get into one lift and it does multiple things. Have you ever noticed that literally the truck stops when they first came out, okay, had all these elevators for people to use, and now it's actually only one elevator that moves around and it creates an instance. So you can all go through the same door, it wouldn't change a thing now. Because again, we used to have it where there were multiple elevators. And it wasn't fast enough for people. This is where sometimes the best thing to do is just let people wait 2 or 3 more minutes of their life and not have broken system. Because now we have to, CIG have to redesign it all over again because it's causing complications. Why didn't I come through? Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, Wolf, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're a trucker, right? You should be able to truck down into, like, Hurston, land your ship, and then be like, can I hire 20 NPCs to unload my ship? And then you're like, Mobiglass, yo, trade port. I got some trade for you. Are you interested? And they're like, yeah, hold the line, please, sir. Hotel fucking music kicks in. Bit Britney Spears one more time. And they're like, yes, we would like to take your shipment. Fucking done deal. I don't understand why you need to get on a fucking train to go all the way to a big fancy building just to see this blonde posh twat fucking talk about shit. We have literally fucking intercom system. Why the fuck do you have to meet people in person? Now I understand maybe in certain places that don't have comms or whatever, but you know, it's like when a Mobiglass works and you're not in a comm ray. How the hell does a Mobiglass work? How does it reach your bank account kind of stuff, you know? So many complicated things with that. These weapons are cannons, Casper, that's why I'm using them in. You like the blonde lady? Who's the blonde lady? Man, Monday's slow, like. Monday's normally a really good time. This thing, the person must be still in the server, right? For this to not despawn. Can I steal it? Does the Phoenix not have an EVA? And oh shit! What the fuck? Oh, it does have an EVA, but it's on the top. Yeah. Alright. Well, I think it's another fucking server hop. Another server hop. They basically overcomplicate this elevator system. They just need something more simple. Yeah, like a teleporter, right? You go through this portal, you appear at a location. Oh, I need to go to my hangar. Okay, you press go to hangar, the Stargate changes to a fucking go to your hangar. You walk through it, you're in your hangar, the Stargate fucking closes. CIG could have had so much fun with this, right? Oh, I need to go to floor 2. It fucking rotates, copy a bit of Stargate, thing portal opens up, you go for it. I mean, shit, we're able to clone ourselves and teleport clone jitsu all the way across a solar system, but you can't teleport people 50 feet above, you know? Yeah, like the plant side tubes, man, you know? I never understand the elevators, right? I get it for they want to have it where you can bring a trolley in, you can bring cargo in, and the elevator music or whatnot, you know? That's whatever, right? But it just, again, for a video game, just make it fun and engaging. Who cares if somebody goes, oh, well, this is not realistic enough for me. In 900 years, we wouldn't have fucking Stargates. Well, I hate to tell you that, but in the early 2000s, you know, we had a show called Stargate, you know? Who cares? It's sci-fi. It was 2000s that we had Stargate, right? It wasn't the 90s. I don't remember now. It lasted 10 years, really? I know they did, like, Atlantis. I never watched Atlantis or anything like that. It's kind of just like... I like for me, the original movie was good, and maybe, like, the first season, and then I sort of, like, I was doing other things, you know, drugs, ladies, snowboarding, BMXing, parkour, all these sort of things. Fast cars. Didn't really watch TV that much. I like the idea of the Egyptian sort of mythology with Stargates and stuff like that. I really did. I mean, I'm into that kind of shit. I got fucking Eye of Ra on my arm. Oh, wait, that's what we're gonna do. Right, let's test water. Let's just drag it this time and see if this works. Nah, this is scuffed. Right, let's go and quickly buy some water, see if I can fix this. This is nasty, man. Oh, see, double instant elevators. Woo! 1 elevator, 2 elevator! Yay! They don't even align properly anymore. Let's get some water. Right, I'm actually gonna... Let's get 20 of these. That. And let's buy some of these and see if this... Can I only buy one? Why can I only buy one? Oh, it's just not grayed out. Alright, okay. There we go. Right, let's see if this fixes it. Might just be where you need to buy more. Oh shit, they're not stacking, eh? Now will it stack with them? Ooh, it does. Let's see if this fixes it. That is totally fucked, eh? Let's try water. Mmm. Oh. Maybe my character is just fucking scuffed and can't drink. I might have to go to a location. Oh, one minute. Let's try this, actually. Let's see if we kill ourselves. Would that fix it? Stargate didn't have Britney Spears' whole music, though. True. Or maybe it did. You just didn't hear it, you know? Maybe they were in their, what are they called? Rooms where they get makeup done and stuff like that. And they were listening to it there and then. You will buy one and you'll be happy with it now picking up that can. Yeah, well, it seems like my character cannot drink anymore, especially from stuff that I buy, so... Let's try this again. Oh. Nice. Right, so that works. Let's see if I can now bring this pile off, because we couldn't do it before. Hey, killing ourselves fixes it. Nom, 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 nom. Chug, chug. Right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so killing yourself fixes it. Apparently. So we now have a shit ton of water. Oh my god. What the hell's that? Oh look, there's somebody in their teleport. Oh my god, what the fuck? Let me just make another instance of the elevator because... Oh! He just fucking ghosted. So now we've got another instance of the elevator. And instead of it, now it's moving up and rotating, instead of it just sort of making the noise, because obviously you don't even get a rumble, right? It's just sound file. There's the double elevator that we can walk through. See how fucking screwed it is, right? And now you hear it going down again. And it's not going down again, it's another instance creating. Because somebody in the first elevator, most likely the person we saw at the door, is now trapped in parallel world, right? Bonker stuff, man.
ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Any other weapons I've not tested? We tried miniguns. I don't have enough ballistics to do a ballistic build. We can do gats, we can do that, we got that. Yeah. Need broadswords. Where can we get broadswords from, actually? By the way, guys, we're still raising for Nova's friend, !Nova. If people do not have the ability to put funds into it, which is totally cool, if you could share it, retweet it, all these things would massively help. This is to get his friend. We're just a little short for gold 2, and we've got till Saturday to get gold 2 at least. So we just need, like, just short of 400 now. Just short of like 3 something. Where am I going here? Right, so games, Star Citizen, apps, item finder. And we're looking for broadsword. A broadsword, please. Nope. Alright, you gotta do this way. Yes, that one. It would be... Oh, we could go to Microtech. I can't get into Area 18. Should we do a trip? I could literally... We could literally just take a cargo ship and move it. I can't wait till you could hire people to do this for you, right? I would love it where I'd be like, right guys, anybody at Microtech right now, anybody want to buy me a couple, like 4 broadswords? I'll give you like half of what it cost, and you bring it to Grim Hex, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I really want CIG to add it where players can do like contracts to move assets and stuff. It's such a good thing in EVE Online, and it needs to be this one. The man has 2 Saber Ravens? Yeah, dude, because when Saber Ravens came out, and then they got absolutely shit-can nerfed, they became worthless, and I picked up them for $10 a piece. I actually bought 3 of them and gave 1 to Battlestar. So yeah, I got my 2 Saber Ravens were $20 off the grey market. Pretty good actually. I mean, you can fit them in SCU boxes? No, you can't fit big guns. I'm talking about vehicle weapons, Casper. You know what they can do to wherever the next fireball? I'm just gonna be vulturing anyway. Dude, Casper, no joke. I can't wait to interact with players that want to be a little bit scavenging, carcassing, kind of, you know, be like, yo, I've just killed like 3 or 4 players. There's wrecks all around here. Do you want to scavenge and maybe give me like 10-20% of what you make? Yeah. You know what I mean? I love this. I think it's so nasty, right? To, like, obviously people will go to derelict sites and they'll salvage, but if you think about it, you're salvaging somebody's asset wreck, you know, it's kind of like pulling the skin back and things. I really like this idea. I think it's such great gameplay loop where you can kill somebody and then make money off the dead. So good, man. It's so cool.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
And I hope it gets more like gritty where you can like cut the weapons off and you can, like, if they don't destroy, you cut the weapons off, you can store them and sell them on for maybe cheaper price. And then, like, even worse, I would love it if you could even pull the chairs out. Like, you kill a freelancer, right? And you can take off its weapons, you can take off its engines, all the modules and stuff like that, if you could strip them out. But then it'd be amazing if you could just rip the chairs out as well. So, yeah, jam on it, basically, right? So you have a fucking stall, you got like engines, and then you got somebody's fucking furry dice that they had in their freelancer. It would be so dope, man. You know what? What's this? Oh yeah, I salvaged this victim. It's like, why did you take the chairs? Just cause I could, you know? Just cause I could. They probably came back to their wreck with no chairs, no steering wheel, no wheels on their fucking ship. It'd be so hilarious, man. Just leave it on fucking bricks, right? I hope that gameplay comes into it. I know it probably won't, but I think it would be so amusing. Especially as you could do it, then go, like, say you did an atmosphere and you got a sniper rifle or a scope and you wait for them to return and their fucking ships are on blocks of fucking rocks. Or you get like SCU boxes and you just fucking use the Argo tractor beaming ship to place it on top of it. That would be hilarious content, man. You know? You couldn't be angry if somebody came up and you found your ship on bricks. But I think we'll probably just get modules, hull, and like, that will probably be it. I don't even know if you'll actually be able to cut off like wings and stuff, maybe to use in the future. I don't think they'll go that extreme. I think it'll be where you can cut out the modules, or pull out the modules, cut off the weapons, strip the hull basically, then you'll probably be able to strip the armor, which will have more resources, I would imagine. And then obviously you can take out interior and stuff like that. Well, like what people have placed. You know, like, you get like these little flags and the bubble heads right now. It'd be kind of interesting if you could take them as well. Like just, you know, pull them off. Just be a thief and steal shit to mildly inconvenience them. Yeah, I know, eh? I mean, CIG could go to the extreme where you take the fucking power on button. You just fucking... You take a pair of pliers or something, you press the power on button so they can't even start their ship. That would be... Oh man, the amount of level of rage from people would be insane if CIG added that level, right? So you climb into somebody's cockpit and you can just pry this button away and then they have to hot wire it or something like that. Hey Anna, if you recycle stolen parts and dirty money, I'll have to book you into Holiday in Klesha. Dude, I'm fine with Klesha, right? No problem, dude. I actually want it where CIG, instead of working on Batman gameplay, they work on maybe allowing us to do prison breaks. I think that would be solid gameplay, not only for criminals, to help other criminals, or get colleagues out or something like that, but also where bounty hunters could deal with multiple bounties at once. It'd be sick. Sick gameplay. So yeah, I'm all for Prison Break and more interaction like that. I kind of wish that once they fix prison, they up the time to get out, because I really want to go back to escaping prison. The only reason I don't escape prison and ask one of my guys to pick me up is purely because you gain a second inventory system right now, and it sucks so bad. So you escape prison, you make it all the way back to Grim Hex, you don't have all your items that you had before you went to prison. That's the only thing that stops me from escaping. Man, this thing accelerates insanely fast. You weld one of the thrusters? Again, like, I'm all for that kind of gameplay. You know when they brought out the STV, is it the STV or SRV for Argo? People were like, oh my god, everyone's gonna steal my ships left, right, and center. You know the funny thing is, this is true. Because CIG said that the only way you could tow a ship is if they're powered down. I come across ships that are always powered down. Like, somebody would be mining, right? And their cutlass is fully powered down. It's not registering anything. You can't EM missile it because it has 0 EM. And that's the kind of shit where I would literally come in, fucking tow it, and as soon as they're trying to go up the ramp, all you see is it just skid a bit forward. So they have to keep chasing after the fucking ramp, as all they see is their cutlass fucking moving. That is entertainment for me, you know? Maybe give the cutlass back, maybe let them have their ship back, something like that. But the entertainment value of watching somebody chase after their ship because it's getting towed away by an Argo is just, it's a hilarious gameplay. I'm interested in a full ballistic build right now. Ballistics are shit. They're so bad. The only ballistics that work are cannons, but if you use them in space, they're, again, useless. Park the Cutty at Grim Hex. Again, once we get a few ships, so the Vulture is definitely going to change the gameplay where a lot more people are going to be mischievous and devious, I think, because again, it allows scavenging gameplay. Right now we've sort of got stealing, but we don't really have scavenging, and I like the idea of that. Then the Vulcan changes gameplay where you allow people to actually do repairs, refueling, rearming on the fly in locations. This adds another element of gameplay. The Argo STV or SUV, whatever it's called, adds another element of towing. And then obviously when we get the Legionnaire for boarding, and if we get some sort of decent disabling ship, this is where this game starts to go really, really good for criminal-minded people, let's say, you know? It also helps people who want to stay blue, right? You know, you have your legit tow repair truck company that come out, fix your ship, or tow it to the nearest spaceport, but there's also going to be a lot of shenanigans, right? Because right now you can put up fake pickup beacons, fake medical beacons, and people just stroll in like, oh, this is legit, you know? Whenever I see a medical beacon and I go to it, I'm like, it smells like a trap. This just doesn't feel right. And it normally is, right? But yeah, like, you could put out a fake, oh, I need a tow message, and you get somebody to come in their repair ships, and you then disable them, then you scavenge them and make money off it. I think it's gonna be great gameplay. Yeah, if you go into hard atmosphere, it's okay if you do that, but space is so dodgy right now with high speed. Extreme salvaging, RSI Orion, yeah. Well, the Orion is obviously not a salvaging ship, it's a mining ship. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, to be honest. Like, I'm not into mining, but I like the idea of, like, big rock crushing kind of thing, you know? What about full ballistics for PvE? Why would you do that? That's just wasting money on ammo, right? If you're doing PvE, you want to make profit, not... I know, before anyone says, oh, but the money is so small, it's not that much faster, to be honest. How about combining Starfare and salvaging? You can salvage and refuel at the same time. It'd be kind of cool if they actually allowed in siphoning, you know? Get the old hose down the fucking bit, spit out and then fucking put it into canisters. Anybody actually ever done that? I've had to do it about 3 or 4 times in my life for people's cars and stuff, and it's disgusting, man. There's nothing worse than a mouthful of fucking gasoline if you fuck it up. If you do it right, you can just move it away before it funnels out, but ugh. I don't know how people fucking put like the white spirit in their mouth and blow fire. Like, that's just nasty. It could be me disguised like a doctor. It could be Anu. Yeah. Bounty hunter disguised as a doctor would be pretty cool. Toy needs to take time and haul slowly. You don't need something like Star Trek tractor beams. Yeah. Well, again, we'll see where they go with it. Oh yeah, Wolf. Yeah. I wonder if actually you can put the main, like, grinder. Let's call it grinder. I can't remember. I know they call it the claw for the reclaimer, but is there a word that they use for like the rotary mining thing? Like, I'm just gonna call it grinder. You could have like an Idris and then start boring into it. I don't know if they'll allow that gameplay, but that would be pretty solid. Crusher, grinder, whatever. The big spinning thing. Oh, alright, cool. We got comms. Ooh. Let's see where we are right now. We got northwest there, and we got sun right there. Something here. Koflax, Institute Post. No. Does Hadley? I think Hadley lags. We'll check out though. Hey Fetch, how you doing, Chief? In Romania, people drink medical alcohol? Well, alright. That's not exactly gasoline, is it, you know? Medical alcohol is like, what, just pure alcohol? Yeah. We're talking about, like, fucking, you know, all the stuff that's in... I can't remember all the stuff that's in gasoline. Mining auger, you mean? What do you mean, auger? Sky. I'm talking about the thing on the front of the Orion, which is like that big sort of drill grinder sort of thing. I don't know if they actually have a name for it. If CIG will implement all those mechanics, I'll probably stop PvP and just do that. Again, dude, I say this all the time, that if CIG end up with the way they're sort of going with the game is 90% PvE, right? And if PvE is entertaining, especially with this bunker system of having like 60 minutes to go into a big bunker, if it's entertaining, PvP for me will just be sort of like a pastime sort of thing, you know? Just like it was in Even Line. When you go roaming to have a little fight, that would be your PvP. But most of the time it was like PvE, playing defense play, all that kind of stuff, you know? You'll find that most people will just stay in Arena Commander for their kind of PvP frills. Just need it for self-defense, yeah. I really hope for decent PvE in this game, because no joke, sometimes PvP can just take hours and hours, and I would rather just be constantly doing stuff than sitting around. Yeah, I'm okay, Fetch. We got like 6 days before we collect Nix. Got to travel like 7 hours round trip to go and collect Nix from Sterling, and bring him home. So we've got like 6 days to try and get to goal 2 on the ! Nova fund for him. He's alright. He's like again, as I've been saying to people, Nova's really depressed. He's just sitting in a basket these days. Past couple of days he just sits in a basket, just he looks so sad. The only time he gets happy is when we go out for walks, and as soon as we come home, it's just depressed, you know? He's got nothing. And this is where, like, I wanted to do a year's worth of streaming, because obviously we're on day, what, 152 in a row? So we're nearly at the 6-month mark. I was going to go for a year just to get it done and say I did it, because it would bring us to, like, you know, this sort of time next year. Or like before going to CitizenCon, but Yeah, there's so many changes in my life where I need to be taking him and the pup out for like 2-3 hikes, big hikes every week to kind of clear his mind. PvP with unscheduled PvP encounters is the best gameplay. Yeah, exactly, Skylam. Exactly. Again, people who want to be diehard sweats will go to Arena Commander or wherever they set up. That's fine. You'll find it where, if CIG offers it where you can build your own base and players can take your own base, that will be where the hardcore PvP groups go for. Because they'll be looking for the juice and the excitement out of it. But for your daily player, you want to have engaging PvE with the possibility of, like you said, unscheduled PvP. This is a great cocktail for the game. Hey Matrix, how you doing, Chief? Welcome in. This makes the game really, really good for everyone. And I can't wait for it. Because again, like, if we get the outpost stuff, building outposts, it means that PvP orgs will fight each other or be hired to take stuff from people who don't want to PvP. For example, they've got loads of money because they've just PvE'd, selling the things, I don't know, right? This will be just fantastic gameplay if you get to that stage. But right now, instead of like, where people are like, oh, I want constantly PvP, 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 I would love that, but I think it's easier to do better PvE and just do that. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you, Matrix. Covert action with those outposts would be interesting. Exactly, there's so many possibilities if you have that, you know? Nobody wants that. What do you mean, Vashkan? PvP now is so tasteless. But you know what I mean, like, when I say people want PvP constantly, would be like where Jumptown is up, or a war zone to fight over, you know what I mean? Where you could do your normal stuff that you do during the day, but then you have an instant go-to place where you might get a fight, right? That's what I'm more meaning. I'm not talking about where I'm sitting here and I'm bombarded with somebody every 5 minutes, right? Hey, Two Monster, welcome in, Chief. Doing well. Also, Casper, sorry, dude. 15 minutes ago I missed your follow. Thank you for that. Thinking about doing that on my Saber comment. Right now I'm having a lot of fun with the Saber and hard atmosphere, but Saber in space against players is just no. You just can't use it. It gets hit too hard. Real Jump Time was great, yeah. But again, this is where we look at Star Citizen, where you want it where PvP is organic. Right now you have a few choices. If you're in a PvP organization, and a serious PvP organization, you can either go into Arena Commander and play that mess, or you can be like, right, we're in a PvP org, you're in a PvP org, let's have a fight with each other and see how it goes, right? People do that. Or you have it like myself, which is organic gameplay, where I go Crime 5 and I'm like, right, well, here we go, we got a contender coming in, maybe somebody to pick up cargo, maybe somebody to shoot at, who knows, right? We don't know until it. Now this is the type of PvP I enjoy, the unknown. So if I had more of this sort of situation, that would be cool, you know? I think this is actually just a cargo ship. Oh no, they're actually bending down. Let's rack up free. It's pushing in pretty hard actually. Let's slow our speed down. Let's take it into Disneyland a bit. Oh no, it's actually going away from us. Alright, well let's send the old warning shot. Works free out on that. We'll connect. Red hull. What's our distance here? It's flying over, it's flying away, so it hit the armistice zone. Now it's flying away. Alright, we need to push in a little bit more, just trying to get the shield regen on that. Push now. Oh shit! It's fucking handbrake turning! And again, it's doing silly stuff. Very silly stuff. It literally had the speed to keep going and go. And everything there. Shoot off that. Let's shoot the turret. By the way, if you know now, you can target turrets in this game. I don't know when they added in, but it was. There we go, a bit of overturn. So just like... Whee. Right, let's see. Are you gonna try and... I don't know. I always do enjoy the, this one. Alright, come on, fly away. Go straight up, don't turn, just, no, just go straight up, go. Fly like the wind, bullseye. No, you can't fight me. Just, go, look, move. Don't give up. Fucking hell. Come on. No, don't target me. No! No! Come on, dude! Just fuck! Just fly away! Be free, pretty! Go! Oh my god, why? Why do you do this? You've lost your engines, you can't hard turn. You have the ability to just fly. Go. Oh fuck, now you're just wasting rounds. Just fly up, yeah, that's it, go. That's it, go forward, just forward, don't turn until you hit space. Go, fly. Align, that's it. You're doing so well. Let's go, come on. Away you go. No, we're like 3K, there's no way you can warp at this height. He's trying to ram. No, he's not trying to ram. He can't move. Oh, is he VTOLing up? Where we am? No! Stop it! Just fly away. Fuck's sake, man. Alright, guys. I tried, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. How is he hitting me when I'm above the nose? Fucking hell. Bit of weird desync like. Also, how the fuck is this taking so much damage? There we go. Jeez. Oh. The funny thing is, right, if we analyze what happened, took missiles, was in Armistice Zone, got hit by missiles, entered Armistice Zone, flew away from Armistice Zone, was flying fast up into the air, decided to 180, turn, lose both engines, and then decided that was the best time to start the engagement. Should have just kept going straight as much as you can, VTOL or something like that, you know? He's giving up? No, he's not giving up. He's been just constantly fucking turning. Like, I wanted to give the chance of, like, you fly away, you repair, you can come back if you so wish kind of thing, but no. And what I don't understand is you literally made it to the Armistice Zone, right? You got hit by missiles, you enter the Armistice Zone, you decide to fly through the Armistice Zone because they were going slow enough. They were heading for Vector to leave. Let's see, because obviously I came from that location there. So again, there's not much to choose from. But if you just kept going fast, much higher chance than turning and going slow. This is where, like, hard atmosphere freaks people out all the time. They don't get it that you're super slow. And this is the thing for, like, 4.0, where I would recommend to people start spending a lot more time in a hard atmosphere and learning what it's like to be slow with drag and stuff. He's in the elevator, Narnia. Well, it's only Grim Hex that has the elevator craziness, isn't it? Or do truck stops have the Narnia elevator? Nah, I don't do that, Skyrim. Again, I don't make myself a pirate or like somebody that ransoms. I just do killing, you know? Because again, I would rather work with salvagers who just carcass clean and do it that way, and then I move on kind of thing, you know? That suits me way more than spending time having to go through. You know, I could let the salvager and their team pick up the cargo, you know? That would be something cool. Freddy Krueger? Freddy Krueger was more of like a mind player though than somebody that would do the, like obviously would do the killing, but it was more gonna turn your sort of worst nightmares against you kind of stuff, you know? I'm actually looking forward to seeing this new Hellraiser. Anybody interested in Hellraiser or like Hellraiser? I always liked Hellraiser because it's a weird, especially what they call the Cenobites or something like that. Is it out, Sal? Is it out already? I'm gonna see it. Because they don't have, like, the original ones there. It's out? Okay, I'll need to check out then. You're killing somebody and leave the body for the vultures. Exactly. So I could be like a vampire or like a wolf, right? Me and my pack take down a target. We have a little bit of a chew. The chew would be the shooting part, right? And then we leave it for the crows, the vultures, the hyenas, whatever you have, you know what I mean? Foxes, any scavenging coming in. That's the kind of gameplay for me. And then just keep on the move. Return to like a Kraken and just keep going to different locations. I would love to roam in Star Citizen. I can't wait until we get like Pyro and Nyx where I'm just always on the move. One day I'm at this area, next day I've moved to this area, and we spend like a show moving kind of thing. It's gonna be so cool, man. 'Cause that's what I would used to do in EVE Online. Would have like, depending on where the alliance or corporation was based from, you would do roaming parties, and it was so much fun roaming like 20, 30 jumps every night, killing, grabbing loot, returning back to base, you know, salvaging. Buddy, you're not a wolf, you're a damn Disney villain. Dude, I wouldn't mind being a Disney villain. Like, I think that would be so much better than being a Disney, like, hero or princess. I think the villains are the best in Disney. In the future game mechanics, I could offer you to be one of my snitches for the time being. Will avoid you prison time. That actually might be something. Like for me, I don't know if I would do the term snitching, but I would be like, I want to see the drama unfold, Anu, right? Because I don't like snitching on people, but I also have no loyalty to anyone. Apart from my guys. So if it sees a war happen that maybe profit myself, it's not snitching so much, it's been a war. What do they call it when people do that shit? Where they design a war around putting two factions against each other for the benefit of themselves. You know what I mean? Is it called warmongering when you do that? Proxy war? I can't remember what it's called. Warlord, something like that. Warmongering. Where you play the middle person. You want to put two people or two groups against each other so that you get the benefit out of it. I like the idea of that. Not so much snitching, but like, yeah, I can give you information. Because I need you to do something for me, you know? I like that, you know? If it keeps me out of prison, it keeps me out of prison. But if it means that competitors or other groups have a war together and I get to do the pickings, basically, that would be kind of cool, you know? Because the wolf doesn't want to fight the lion. It doesn't need to fight the lion. It can send in other animals to deal with the lion. Please always deal with criminal bosses, filthy bosses. I don't think I would ever be a crime boss in Star Citizen, you know? Lord Baelish. Again, I hope there is this sort of stuff, you know? Because there are organizations out there that I would love to see the drama have that you get in EVE, right? And it's not me to be malicious towards any member of these orgs, but I would love for them to have the stress that you got from EVE Online, where you're like, shit, we're in a war right now. We don't really want to be in a war. We've been chest beating that we could easily do a war, but we're struggling right now. And I love to sit back and just go, nom, nom, nom. I don't want the money or anything like that. I just want to see people crumble when they realize that they're out of their comfort zone in certain things. They've chest beat too hard, too furious, and they get absolutely wrecked, you know? You are the no, I would need like a mafia or something like that. No. I wouldn't, like, an information runner would be actually a pretty fucking decent job in this game. Like, shady information runner. You know, you could call it snitch or whatever, but like, being able to give people locations, like, you say, for example, you know where an organization's base is, and then an organization that's going to war with that organization maybe not know about it, and you hand them the bookmarks for where that outpost is, and you sell them for like a few million or whatever, like the prices and stuff like that. That would be so cool, man. You do all that work to locate people, and they're like, you know, my organization QQP is so small, it's irrelevant for big orgs to even care about, but you can start doing really shady shit that will fuck them up because you get other bigger orgs to fucking attack them, and you just give all the shit. The information, locations, tactical intel, all that stuff. I love the idea of this for the future of Star Citizen. Espionage. Yeah, espionage I did a lot in EVE Online. It's so much fun. It takes a lot of time consuming work, but it's great. It's so much fun. Most people be like, oh, that's just disgusting. How could you do something like that? It's like, because it's a video game, I'm not really affecting anybody in real life. It's just virtual assets being overcome by other groups. It's a good thing about sandbox games. And again, this is where I always say, I always bring it back to EVE Online. 2003 to 2012 was my game time, and I've never played any other game like it. Never. And the only reason I don't go back to it is because I like the idea that Star Citizen could do the same sort of thing, but where you're flying the ship, you're jumping out of the ship, you're doing FPSing, you're doing mining, you're doing salvaging, and it's all in a much more like simulated scenario instead of just clicking here and there and pressing F1 kind of thing, you know? Mighty Posh Wolf there. Yes, I do believe. Send in the squirrels first, and then it's weak. Yeah. Send in the hedgehogs. Again, I do believe Star Citizen or CIG could pull this off. It doesn't require much, but it does require us to be able to make bookmarks. Like, so I could be like over in those mountains, or hills, sorry, and I could literally save that point so somebody could warp to it. And then where people can build their own outposts. I generally don't believe there's going to be much org versus org gameplay unless you have the ability to target an org's or an alliance's main location, right? Because you're never going to be able to take over stations, they said. You're never going to be able to craft things. You can only use like factories and stuff. You might be able to take over factories, they said, but this is many, many years ago. But you know what I mean, like targeting a natural organization's central hub where everyone comes to maybe deposit supplies and stuff. That's going to be really good gameplay for the future. What was the ratio of AI versus players in that game again? For EVE, I would actually say it's more players than AI, because EVE is where you would go to locations. Oh, SE, it's 9 NPC to 1 player. So it's 90% a PvE game, technically. That's what they wanted to have it. But the way Tony Zervik was talking about it is it's 9 players, but you don't virtually need to see the 9 NPCs to 1 player. You will only see the NPCs. So the way Quanta works is 9 NPCs will do things alongside a player, but you will only ever see the NPC doing these things if you're actually beside it and it has to virtually create it. So unless you like interdict it or you warp it in at the same location, the NPC will work in virtual land and you'll just go about your own business. But if you arrive at the same location, it means that the game is not empty, right? You know what I mean? It's all going off in the background and you only ever have to pull that information to visibly see it when they're right beside it. They have like a virtual schedule, yeah. And this is great because people are like, oh, but this just means that the game is just all PvE, there's no PvP. No. Don't look at it so flatline, right? Look at it that it just makes the game feel busy. Because look what we're doing right now, right? We've got 100 people on this server. I'm a Crime 5. I could sit here for another hour, chat to you guys, and nothing happens. No NPC spawns. It's boring, it's stale gameplay. However, if I'm sat here and then maybe every 10 minutes an NPC bounty hunter comes to get me, because that's what Quanta schedules in, it gives me content. It gives you guys to see something instead of us just sitting chatting. Because that's all Star Citizen is right now. It's just a fucking chatting simulator for content creators. Or creating screenshots and stuff like that. Or meme videos. But it'd be so cool if you arrive to a location and there's like, 4 or 5 NPCs doing something in that location. You can choose to either kill them, interact with them, help them out if they're getting attacked by pirates, for example. This would give bounty hunters as well more things to do. They go after a player bounty, but as they arrive on the location, maybe the player bounty is being killed, but they notice that there's an NPC bounty attacking another player at the same time. And then they get that instant, quick reaction of doing things. Not having to server hop, not for me to sit here and be bored and try and server hop, which we're about to do again. But you know what I mean? The game just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. And who the fuck cares if it's an NPC, right? Because eventually down the line, you're not going to see a player's name until you scan them. So you don't know if you're fighting an NPC or a player. I've killed many players, streamers at the time, and no joke, they've turned around and said, oh, that was just an NPC that killed me. And it was, no, literally it said TheDarkLaw, And that's how, like, a lot of people don't even realize they're being attacked by players. They think it's just an NPC that's interdicted them or something, Exactly. Well, that's what it is, Wolf, I tried to bring some organic gameplay, but most of the time, you can't get anything out of it. Again, we're about to server hop. Let's see how many people are on the fucking server. 103. 103 people, and they'll be doing mining, mission running, bounty, NPCs, bunkers, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But there's not a single person chasing after a player in PvP. So this is where I say, when we went with 50 players and people are like, oh yeah, 100 players is going to change the game for PvP. No, it doesn't. It just means that there's more PvEers playing the game that they want to play. That's cool. Just give me something to interact before a player turns up. Make it where NPC bounty hunters come after me. I'm fucking for that shit, Because you sometimes get it, you warp to a location, sometimes they spawn, but it'd be awesome if it was like every 10-15 minutes there was like a little fleet of NPCs that chased after me. It would give me gameplay. Or I go into a bunker and an NPC group lands and I have to fight them, I'm not necessarily, like, for me, I love PvP. I love PvP games, and I love the low-flying element of Star Citizen, but I'm happy if you have engaging PvE, just to fill in the wasted time that we have right now. I don't think anyone should ever complain about CIG wanting to have it where NPCs are higher in demand on the game than a player is, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to be swarmed by 9 NPCs. It's only if it's like something that you're doing at the time. They said they would make it virtual. I need to change the market to the ship and not the player, so I can go out with my ship without marker on my ass. Exactly, yeah. Well, again, I'm pretty sure it's going to change, Veshkan, when they bring in back the player radar system, right? Because if you see where they're going, like, so I'm not for the Batman, right? Luke Presley and the younger guy, I can't remember what their name, they do the missions, right? And they were saying that we're developing the detective line of mission work, yada yada yada, right? I'm not for that. However, even though I would rant about it saying I don't think it's needed in the game right now, you can look at it that whilst they build this element of the game, Veshkan, they also make it where when you bounty hunt, you have to do a bit of detective work to find the player. Now, they can then make it where, like, my bounty will be huge. And then they could also make it where then stream snipers see me on the server, see my bounty, and they go, alright, DarkLaw might be online, let's go and find out his location. And they can cut corners with that. That's cool, right? I don't give a shit about that. But when they do this development to make the detective work, they can make it where there's no more marker above your head thing. You have to be like, right, well, this is the last Comray known location. Let's go there. And then maybe they give you like 50-kilometer detection. You got to scan. Be like, you know, maybe look around. And then, you know what I mean? Like, instead of 40k to kill DarkLaw, it's like 100. 200 or something like that. Because you have more time in finding me or something like that. Because, yeah, detective missions are played one time only. However, CIG want to randomize it, but it would get repetitively boring over a while. But if it means that it makes the gameplay loop for bounty hunting in the future, I'm all for it. Personally, I would rather they make more gameplay around prisons, like I said, being able to fully prison raid, turn up with an org, shoot all the turrets, fucking hack open the door, and go in and basically let everyone out through the gate and stuff, you know, fully take over for a period of time. And then player bounty hunters get a big mission to be like, look, there's so many criminals getting out right now, and they can make it where NPCs are escaping at the same time, and it just becomes a massive freaking war zone. I would personally prefer that over waiting for one or two bounty hunters to come for me. But that's just my personal opinion on it. If they make this detective stuff and it makes it more interactive for bounty hunting, more people will do it. Especially if you get more money out of it, and people can't all afford. And we know that's coming very, very shortly. So for example, if somebody turned up and I'm like, oh my god, there's 10 people there, I can just do this, right? And that wastes a player's time to do shit like that. That's not fun and engaging. So what they need to do is make it where, like, when that happens and a player leaves, like say I need to go, right? It's not my fault that I need to go on an emergency like A&E or something like that. Or a family member's passed away or something out of my control. My internet goes down. What they need to do is when that happens, a mission instantly pops up for that bounty hunter that's an NPC, and you can kill that NPC that's within 50 kilometers or something like that and get the money that you would have got from me. This would be a great method for bounty hunters where they don't feel like they're wasting their time. And they just need to make it where when somebody disconnects, or if somebody's already, like if another bounty hunter takes that bounty, the bounty hunter traveling to come for you instantly gets a knock-on effect mission controlled by the game that says, well, you missed out on DarkLaw for whatever reason. There's another bounty 50 kilometers away from that location. Same money. Go and get it. So many more people would do bounty hunting, right? If you had that option. And this is very easy for CIG to do. Because we already know they have knock-on mission effects when you take Orison, for example. Orison adapts depending on who is in front of you doing certain things. You get the updated mission and you cut corners, basically. This is what they could do with bounty hunting to prevent people traveling from Microtech to, like, Hurston, and I have to leave because I'm finished. And they're like, oh, well, I've just traveled 10 minutes here. I've wasted my time. I'm never doing player bounty hunts again. Oh, wait, there's a mission here. Same price. It's for an NPC. I'll quickly go and do that. And I've not lost anything. I just didn't get to kill DarkLaw there and then, right? That's solid gameplay, right? And it makes more people want to do chasing after players and stuff. Because it's the worst thing. I see it all the time when you watch like Captain Burks and Zero. They spend all this time chasing a player. The player then Alt F4s, or they have to leave for whatever reason, or their internet goes down. And then they have to jump server and rinse and repeat. And it's just, that is so boring for anyone to do in a video game. You shouldn't have to hop servers to keep the gameplay loop going. It's the same when you get the Crime 5 mission. So when you're Criminal 5, you get this one-time mission that you get on a server to kill 8 Navy men, and it never comes back unless you leave the server. Why can't it just come back every hour? After you complete it, it comes back after an hour, and you can rinse and repeat. This game forces you to leave the server all the time. And it's so frustrating. Exactly, Vass, yeah. But CIG don't even think this. CIG don't look at ways to make it better for every player. If there's an Alt F4 loop or people are disconnecting, how can I make it easier for people to continue on with this thing? Make it where you just instantly chase after an NPC for the same price. And you know the funny thing is, right? CIG do tracking on our stats, right? So if I'm in an arrow, right? Or I'm in a hurricane, for example, CIGs could basically, before I get killed by another player or I have to leave, I literally log off, right? CIG can take that data and turn the NPC into what I was flying in. You know what I mean? So it's not always like, oh, you'll get an Aurora, or you'll get like an M50. It would be like, oh my god, this is a Hammerhead. And you could be like, wow, right, shit, TheDarkLaw was in the Hammerhead before whatever happened, you know? That would be a really cool system. So it's not always just a simple Gladius to kill for quick money. It could be just a mimic of who you were actually going to go up against. Maybe a lot easier, you know? That would work. The discount law, yeah, exactly, you know? No, you can come after me for prison time, Annie. I don't care. I'm not doing anything like that shit until the future. I need to see where the game actually goes before I even waste resources scanning everything. Bring the old EVE Online system back online. So no, I don't mind going to prison, dude. In the future, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But there's just no point right now in Star Citizen. Because again, Alt F4, nobody has any loss, anything like that. I'll do it when people have something to really cry about. Yeah, not now, yeah. Also, we don't know what will happen in Pyro, like... I'm very interested to see if bounty hunters actually... If you kill somebody or capture them in Pyro, what actually happens for bounty hunting. I hope CIG don't make it where it's only in like a UEE zone, and maybe bounty hunting becomes like a bit more serious, not serious, what would be the word? Where instead of bringing people to prison, you're like hitman basically. So Ninetales say, look, there's this high roller or something like that. No, that wouldn't actually do the bounty hunting. Because how you would have to bring somebody back to Stanton, you know what I mean? If there's no comrades, how does somebody actually claim that they've got somebody as a bounty? So CIG would have to make it where you would have to actually capture somebody in Pyro, transport them through the gate, and then they would go to jail. Because, wait, you can only get the mission in Stanton. You then have to find that person, and you don't need to bring the person in alive. It's dead, kind of thing. Dead or alive, bounty hunting. That would work. And then maybe you have to, like, take a photo of the dead body. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know how they're going to do bounty hunting for Pyro, because there's no comrades. And they've not really said anything on that. Yeah, but like for me, Veshkan, that reminds me of early DayZ shit. You know, there's some videos on DayZ where they would knock people out, they would zip tie them up, put them in the back of the bus, and then put them in the ring to fight for their lives. And actually kill everyone in the ring, and if they survived, they got to leave with like a backpack full of gear. That shit actually happened in DayZ, right? Now, I'm all for that. However, the average Joe player who may be a little bit more sensitive than somebody like me might not like to be dragged into the back of a ship and talked to for 30 minutes as you travel across Pyro and take them into Stanton and then just dispatch them, right? I think a lot of space dads would have an absolute freak out if that was the case. I'm all for that gameplay. I think I'd be like, look guys, can you speed this up? I literally have to finish my stream very soon and take the dog out for a walk. It's like, alright, just do that. You'll still be here, you know? I would be for that, but yeah, you know? Isn't that what the Carrick Hangar is for? Fight Club? Yeah. You could also say you could do it on a caterpillar, right? You could have it where you could lock the doors, the breech doors on each side, and make it where people go down the ladder and they've got to duke it out or something like that. And whoever wins gets to climb back up, and the loser gets pushed out into space, you know? EVA, or what's it, airlock breach it. Again, CIG can go that dark in the game. I would love it. But the question is how many people, you know, would. How much of it would actually freak people out and stuff, you know? Today is quiet. We're gonna see, do we have any videos? What the fuck? Let me just quickly check my hours chat. This is the thing with this ad revenue incentive program. Alright, we're at 70, so I've got... Alright, cool. Oh, let's see. Alright, cool. I got plenty of time. I got 14 days left. I've got 20 hours still to do of being online. So all I have to do is just do 2 hours a day or something like that, and we're fine. Many great ships for entertainment purposes, but yeah, people would definitely alt F4. Maybe they'll turn into an alt, like an NPC or something like that, right? Who knows? Who knows? Alright. I'm gonna send you over to my boy Henkin. He's online. I don't often be able to raid him. He's doing a donation fund as well for like go-karts for kids or something like that. But I'm gonna head out, guys, get some sun, rain, all that good stuff. I will see you back tomorrow. Maybe it'll be a bit better. Maybe it'll be just as quiet, but we'll have some good chats anyway, so yeah. Thank you very much for being here, everyone. Appreciate you on a Monday, and have a good one. Wolf, take care. VR, take care, dude. Lawless, appreciate you guys being here. Winterfins, KLB, all that good stuff. Thank you, guys. Skylum, Verscan, Budget Badger, KLB, take care, guys. Have a wonderful Monday. Anu, take care. Thank you for being here, everyone. Enjoy Henkin's show, guys.